And we're hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi there, Internet.
What were you
How are
saying?
you tonight?
We were already
Um,
talking.
so I need to figure out where my old webcam is.
Oh yeah.
Maybe like when we move, this will happen. But to have like just another webcam to like, if the dog does something that I can just real easily like point it at the dog, and then but to do like that, like where you can do like some effects there and
Yeah. That
have
was
some
the
fun with
thing.
it.
The little webcam that I had as like my secondary camera was on like an 8-foot cord. So I could take it anywhere really. It was really cool
Oh dang.
in that way. But now it's my work thing. So
Oh yeah. Oh,
you lost a bet.
oh, I didn't mean that one, Mrs. Pastor.
Oh.
So she found what? Oh, wait,
Oh.
seriously? It was in your office this whole time?
Sometimes all you have to
Found
do
my webcam.
Sometimes all you have to do is ask the other person who lives in the house with you where something is.
Apparently, because that's all right. Well, that could be fun for next time.
See?
That's literally what Sater just said. He said sometimes you just have to ask the person who lives in the house with you where things are. Yeah. So where are my network switches then?
Oh.
Because that's the other thing I'm looking for. She says if she knew where they were, she might know where they were. Yeah, I've got a pair of switches that I have literally no, like there was a bunch of stuff that was in my office like a month after we moved in. I put them in a box and they ended up somewhere.
You know that by the time we're done here, she will have found them.
No, she doesn't know what she's looking for.
Oh, gotcha.
So,
should I start sending her pictures of switches?
Maybe that might do it. Oh, so
Reaper,
how are you, sir?
Reaper lost a bet because there's audio.
Oh,
a bet that he made with himself.
I'm wearing 2 headphones so I can listen to my customers and you guys at the same time, but they won't be able to hear you guys. Are you sure?
Ooh, if we scream
sure
real loud. We like
I feel like that
is
a mistake waiting to happen.
It does sound like it could be problematic. Is this why you needed the 2-in 1-out headphone jack so that you could listen to us and your work at the same time? And you're gonna have to.
I'm guessing yes.
I need to know when you're on a phone call. Like, I need to know when you are talking to a customer because I would like to talk in the background of your conversation with the customer. I think that would be fucking brilliant.
Just to throw them off.
Yes. I'm doing well. I've had a week.
It has definitely been a week.
Yeah. It was a very long day at work.
My day was actually like, so since Fridays are my days off, like today was actually mostly good. It's just, except for like, I mentioned it in the Discord, but it's just always interesting. Like I don't mind if somebody calls me and they don't know that it's my day off.
Right.
Like, I'm not bothered by that. And like, if it's an emergency, like obviously that's how my job works. Like if there's a pastor emergency, then I deal with it.
They
like,
put
even if it's my day off, that's part of my job.
They put a light in the shape of a beard with glasses up in the sky, and you're like, it's up.
Yes,
they need
exactly.
pastor.
They do this.
Yes, and then you show up on a rooftop,
like just silhouette. Yeah, I fly in on my beard as a wing. But they like, it's when somebody calls and is like, "Oh, I'm really sorry that I'm calling you on this blah blah blah," and I hope it's okay that I'm like, if you know you're not supposed to.
Right. I know it's your day off and I'm not supposed to call and this isn't an emergency, but and you're like, fuck you.
No, because it is my day off, like, and it was a number I didn't recognize. So like for all of like it, everything goes to my voicemail. Like that is just, and I've made very clear, like calls go to voicemail if I don't have the number in my phone. And if it's my day off, it's going to voicemail, like,
Yeah.
and I'll call you back if it's an actual emergency.
Right.
Or if it's something that otherwise like can't wait.
I may be doing something and not able to answer I might not have my phone on me. I may be covered
there's
in
exceptions for like
I may be covered in strawberry jam.
we don't need to know why, but it's possible. But like if the office manager or the church coordinator texts me on a weekend, like that, they're only going to text me if it's something that needs to be addressed.
Right.
Like there's some people that I just know that if they get in touch with me, it's something important.
Yeah.
Hey, Barlazy.
What a shaking.
But yeah, it just threw off my whole day, because it's like, how do you know that you are doing this thing that you're not supposed to do and still do it?
and you're still like, okay, sure. I'm gonna keep dialing.
And it's like, well, and so it's like, okay, well, you're getting called back on Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Because like that is the next time I am in the office.
Today for us was just weird because I think it's like the day of the Friday before a 3-day weekend is always chaotic because everyone's trying to get that extra day's worth of work done before they leave.
Right.
And there's just no way to do that. So it's just chaos for no reason. I don't know. It was fun.
Yeah. And that's always a lot. When you get the people that are like, it's almost like customers know that like something might go wrong.
Yeah.
So they're just, well, like I had to write into my web host, not holiday related, but just like, hey, I found out that PHP 7.4 is going end of life, and your backend isn't letting me upgrade to 8, so I have like all the security updates. Like,
please
is there something on my end? Is that something I need to tell you? Like, what needs to happen there? And they're like, oh, yeah, there's some stuff we need to take care of on our end first.
They had not even noticed. 100%.
No, they had not.
That's horrifying. That's horrifying.
Which is weird because they're usually on top of that.
Who are you hosting through, or should you not?
So
say?
it's a local company in Utah that I have had really good luck with, like forever.
Is like hosting like the thing that they do, or is it like a side part of their business?
They have, yes, like they do offer internet service, but hosting does seem to have become their primary thing.
Gotcha.
Like they are. So the host, it's called X Mission is the name of the company.
Yeah,
and I've talked about them before. Like,
yeah,
if you are like, I've recommended them to folk if they need a web host. I don't necessarily like that they use Zimbra and Plesk.
Yeah.
But their support folk are incredible. Like, they're always on top of things. Like, in my case, they actually they're really good at doing the, like, when I list off the things that I have done, they're like, oh, okay, well, try this thing in the middle of that you missed.
Right. They don't treat you like
one time. Right. Like one time I had an issue. I'm like, my router was for whatever reason not renewing its IP address. Like it just refused to renew. And it was like, and I'm like, I've pulled it, I've factory refreshed it, like I've done all this stuff, and it's still just not renewing an IP address. And the dude's like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Just unplug it, and then you and I are gonna talk for like 10 minutes and then plug it back in. Just, and it's like, but it's just like the stupid thing like that, like, right? Because sometimes that does fix it, and it did.
That CMOS reset, man.
Yeah, where you just have to let it sit for a while.
Congratulations, Barlazy. You're gonna have to tell us all about it. Where are you working?
Yeah, we'll have to. Oh, that's exciting news.
You're a greeter
What?
at a dollar store. You're you are the person that shaves the backs of swimmers.
Oh no, see, I'm gonna stay in the same wheelhouse.
Oh.
He is a caterer for pornographic films.
Oh, wow. Wow. That would be that would be an awful job, I think. I think it would be a really bad job.
I mean, you're the caterer, like that doesn't necessarily mean you're involved in anything.
No, I know. It's just when they came to get like
I mean, you would assume that they would be closed for lunch.
but would you? Like if they need to be naked all morning and naked all afternoon, are they gonna put clothes on for lunch?
I mean, maybe at least like put a robe on or something, right? Like you don't want to get food in places because you drip.
What are you eating on the set of a pornographic film that you're dripping all over yourself?
I mean, dude, it could just be a sandwich with mustard on it, man.
I know, but like they
mustard drips.
There's a lot of makeup and stuff involved, and I would think that they would not want to mess up the makeup, so they wouldn't want like drippy sandwiches or hot dogs.
But then
You
we're-
wouldn't want hot dogs
You would not.
or bananas. There's just
That's too much like work.
Barbecue sauce. Don't I remember that video? I guess not. Is there a barbecue sauce porn? Ow. I know.
Of course there is. He works at a bakery in Overland Park.
Oh,
That's cool.
nice. Nice.
That's exciting.
I'm excited for you. Yeah. Back on the working train. Barbecue sauce and titties. Oh yeah. Never mind. Never mind.
Why am I on Top Chat?
I don't know, because you hate all of us.
Apparently, it's all better now.
I-
Yeah, like but yeah, the rest of the week has been a week.
It has been a week.
There's a lot.
I did a thing. I played
no.
hooky Wednesday afternoon and did a thing.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
your Band-Aid hands.
I'm rocking the Michael Jackson hands for a little bit. Actually, ow! I think the band-aids are coming off tomorrow morning. Let go of my back.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. She like hooks in.
No, no hugs.
All,
Hugs.
All of the hugs. Oh, all of the hugs. Yes. Oh.
Oh, look at that. My email thought that Reaper was spam.
Yes, I got ET finger extensions. That's why my fingers are so long.
Yeah, and of course we all know, like you did indeed go with Edom. Yes, right?
Eat 'em. Yes. Yes. Eat 'em. And then I can eat 'em.
Yeah.
Yes. Being in Kansas City, I'm sure the strip joints downtown do that. I hear. I've heard there's a strip joint here that has a buffet in the afternoon, and that
Oh, I mean, I don't really trust buffets in general. Like, I didn't really trust them before the Rona times,
yeah.
and since the Rona times, I like extra don't trust them.
Well, and I just don't feel like I feel like having food around nakedness is a health code violation. Like
Maybe. Well, and I'm honestly like I'm not worried about like the employees uncleanly. Like the employees, I'm pretty confident are gonna be like glittery but clean.
it's the
It's the
people
people who go to a strip club that I just like.
especially the people who are going to a strip club to eat a buffet. Those people
Right.
in specific are going to be extra nasty. Get some ribs while you stare at our ribs.
I mean, that is certainly
That is a
a
thing
selling point, I'm
you
sure.
could do. You could stare at all of the ribs. When you see a bikini barista on every corner, you don't wonder how
Oh,
that. Yeah, that
yeah.
is a thing, isn't it?
There was the bikini barber shops that just like just made me uncomfortable.
I will never. Like, I've never been to a strip club because it's just weird to me. Like, that dynamic is really weird, and I can't
Yeah.
imagine it would be comfortable for anyone. working at
for a short time at Western Sizzler in
Uh-huh.
Greeley.
yeah.
Oh, did you see did you see the TikTok I sent you about Dan McClellan's like history in Greeley?
No, I don't.
I'm
think
pretty sure I
so.
sent it to you. It's like him talking about how he like
Oh yeah. 'Cause
flunked out a
He flunked out of Colorado University there.
yeah,
Yeah.
because he was too busy with the drinking and the
And
smoking
it was
the reefer.
it was funny to me because like he was doing that in Greeley right after I left. So I was doing it in
Oh, okay.
Seattle and he was doing it there in Colorado. Yeah, Dan McClellan went to
Yep, the
college there in
theology guy
Greeley.
who knows way too many things
Way too many
failed
things.
out. And I loved what he's like, yep, and ever since then I've had to put that 0.26 GPA on
It's
every
horrifying.
university application.
That is horrifying. Like that was my practice semester. I was
Yep.
practicing. The uniform they had the girls at the barber shop wear in Korea, the skirt was so short I could see a humped animal's foot endings, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I just I don't
I don't get it.
I don't like it.
Like
It's uncomfortable.
like I've had like in general, like I've had much better like haircut experiences from dudes anyways.
Really?
Like if you've ever had like the full on like old timey barbershop experience,
Oh, yeah.
like it is something else. Like with the straight razor shave, the hot towel, like
I've never done the straight razor
nice. Dude, it's life changing
shave. How would you know?
because it just, dude, it gets like the neck bits, like
Oh,
it just
yeah.
cleans everything up so nice.
That's fair. That's fair. Did you have to stink the whole room up? It smells so bad in here right now. Did you not cover it up at all? Did you not even try? Is there just a turd sitting over there?
Probably.
Probably.
Right there, just to stay present.
Just-
That's what you get for not letting her hug you.
Yeah, pretty much. The bikini
deserve that.
daycares? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Bro cut is an experience. I don't know.
Yeah, bro cut just sounds
We have one of those
uncomfortable.
like hipster places here. It's called Roosters. And like all the guys have like the pompadours and the
Oh,
like
yeah.
tier. It's like I don't know. And they wear like suits. It's like super hipster.
Oh yeah.
Like perfectly
The dude I went
manicured
to-
beards and twirly
The
mustaches.
dude I went to back in Utah had the twirly mustache.
Mhm. I don't trust people with
Of
twirly
course-
mustaches.
Of course, he was an old skater punk that like just never grew up. Like when he found out I was a pastor, he's like, "Oh yeah, like I had a really good experience at a church back in back in Long Beach. Yeah, it was a dude. He didn't really care. They had a cool skate park, and you just let us skate. Like he never like was pushy or anything." I'm like, "That's the way it should
That's the
be."
way you should. Yeah. There's a place in Durham, North Carolina, where you could get a pint of beer and relax
Ooh.
before and during the haircut. That would be.
That'd be
interesting.
nice.
I don't know if I
Haircut
could
and a beer.
drink a beer and then like they do the head wash thing. I'd just be like, I'll just be over here. I like
an
an
old
old.
racist white dude cutting my hair while three retired guys talk about fishing and NASCAR. It makes me feel like the guy that never made it into a Norman Rockwell.
Yeah.
You know, so there is something that is fascinating about like the moment when you realize what's happening when a bunch of old white dudes are talking about sports and are talking about like trading mostly black players,
Yeah.
and it just starts to get like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's a little uncomfortable.
So I had my tattoo appointment this week, and it was Wednesday, and I'd been going back and forth via email, and they were like, "Look, the person that you're wanting," because I just went to the website and like picked someone whose art looked cool,
Oh,
and was like, "I
right.
want that person," and they were like, "They're booked out for like 2 months,
Oh,
but we have a brand new artist just started here a week ago. They're wide open, so you
Oh.
could come in whenever you want." And I was like, "Cool, I will come in Wednesday." In the afternoon, I'll figure it out. And they were like,
Yeah.
"Dope, she's open from like 1 o'clock on wide open. I was like, sweet. So I showed up at 1 o'clock. And I walked in and I was like, hey, I have an appointment with this person. And they all just looking at me like, you do? And I was like, yeah. And so they started digging and they finally pulled my email up and they were like, oh, they said that her time was open on Wednesday, right? And I was like, yes. And they're like, that's a little different than having an appointment. And I was like,
What?
okay. And they were like, so there was already another guy who put his down payment in, like put a down payment on his time
Yeah.
and is coming in. So you'll have to come back. And I was like, okay, that's
What?
fine.
But,
Whatever.
like, okay,
I know.
okay.
I was like, whatever. I'm playing hooky from work. I don't give a shit. I use personal time, so I'm getting paid to go get a tattoo. I don't give a fuck. And it actually worked out for the better because I had to go get groceries, and that would have been a bad idea to do right after getting a tattoo, I
Oh.
think.
Right.
So, so I go back. They said come back at 3:30, and I was like, cool. And I went back at 3 because that's what I do. And I was like, maybe
Right.
she'll finish early. If
Well,
not,
and it's honestly, it's
whatever.
always good to be a little bit early for like appointments like that, anyways.
yeah. And I was like, plus I kind of want to like get a feel for the vibe.
Right.
'Cause I haven't hung out at this place.
Want to kind of watch and like make sure that they've got the autoclave and all the fun
Yeah.
stuff. Like
And just
that
that,
they're
like
clean.
they're not.
You want to
being-
use the bathroom to make sure that
Mhm.
like
their bathroom was
the
dope.
bathroom's looking good.
It was tiny
Nice.
and like there was a curtain that was hiding like the water cooler or the water tank and shit, which was weird.
Nice.
But the bathroom itself was really nice.
Right. But like that's one thing that they don't tell you, but like always check out a tattoo shop's bathroom.
They had like a
Because if the bathroom's not clean, then
know
like
what?
you don't want to get a tattoo.
they had like
there.
a fancy sink and stuff. I was like, okay. So the guy before me was this old guy, and he came in like while I was talking to them at 1 o'clock. He came in, and they were like, she was like, because she was saying to me, "There's always a chance this dude's not going to show up." And as she said
Oh.
that, he walked in the door, and she was like, "Never mind, I'll see you at 3:30." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Cool." So I came back at 3. She was still working on him. He was getting the back of his hand touched up. So I just sat there. I had a piece of art I was working on, so I was working on a piece of art and just kind of listening to the counter girls make fun of people.
Oh yeah.
And so she finally
And,
finishes.
and it's always a good idea to chat up the counter people.
Yes.
Like
yeah,
because they will. I was like, I got I made friends with the counter girl because I would always come in with snacks because like I knew that like if I was not just going to be snacking constantly, like I would be in a world of trouble. So what I would always come in just with a boatload of snacks.
like here, would you like some fruit
Yeah.
juice? Like here you go.
Gummy bears.
I've gummy worms. I've brought gummy worms for everyone. So I was sitting there, and the guy comes out, and she comes out with him, and she's paying like he's paying his bill, and I need to put this on the list. We'll come back.
Oh, okay.
We'll swing back around to that because I have a question for you. Anyway, so he leaves, and she turns around, and she's like over there. She's talking, and she just goes, "My God, that guy was fucking racist." And
man.
the other artist who's like that, who was the one I originally asked for, was like, you could have stopped. Like you could have stopped whenever. Like the first time something racist came out of his mouth, you could have said, "We're done." And she was like, I just wanted to get through it. Like it's not my beliefs. I just every time we brought something up, I would try to change the subject. It was just funny to me that he kept bringing stuff up. I was like, how weird
It
it would.
happens all the time though.
Yeah, like how out of touch do you have to be that like you say something racist to someone and they change the subject and you just keep going back to racist
no.
stuff?
Dude, it happens all the time. Like you don't interact with old people that often.
No.
It happens
No.
all the time.
That's so weird to me because I am not around people who are like racist or homophobic or anything. Like I'm just not around those people. So it's
And
really weird to me that they exist out there and interact with people.
it is it is incredible to me how many people like base their entire identity in who they hate.
It is weird. I do
And it's
come
just
across people
crazy
on,
to me.
I come across people on like TikTok, and you know, like there was a dude the other night, and I saw someone responding to one of his videos, and they were like, "You should go check his channel out and see what this guy's all about." You should be able to tell because his username was like country boy country boy 1488 or whatever the
Oof.
isn't it 1488 or 1488 I think.
I think so, yeah.
And they were like, that should be all you need to know, but you can go over. And I was shocked the dude was from like LA.
Yeah, that
And
tracks.
I was like, I didn't imagine there would be a lot of country boys in LA, but I guess so.
I mean, Kid Rock's from Michigan.
Well, Kid Rock's a
So-
rich kid. Like, that doesn't matter.
It's funnier when people think I am race X and not race Y, so they talk. Yeah, yeah, because you get a with the Portuguese name. I bet you get a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. It's really weird. It's really weird to me that is like. So then I had to like, because I'm going to be sitting in a room with this person forever, and like she doesn't know
Right.
me. So like, as soon as we sat down, I was just like, just so you know, I'm not going to keep talking about racist shit. Unless you really want me to. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
Right, but this dude was like from LA. Like he grew up in LA.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And it just seems weird to me that like in Los Angeles there's country boys. That's
Dude,
weird.
don't you remember LA Noir? Like,
That was first of all, that was a video game. Second of all, that was like 1930. There was a
yeah,
lot
it
more.
hasn't changed much.
Okay.
Let's be honest.
Whatever you need to tell yourself, buddy.
Racists have not changed
Well,
much
racists
since
have not.
1930.
That's true. That's true. There's Hawaiian country music. Well, I can imagine that there's
Oh.
Hawaiian country music.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
There's actually a really cool like New Zealand metal band.
Interesting. I just came
Yeah.
across an Aboriginal Australian hip hop group
Ooh,
doing the
nice.
rippity raps, and it was really cool sounding, and they were like
very nice.
in very traditional, like painted.
Yeah,
And I was like, okay, I'm down. It's cool.
nice.
Uh,
I like random music. The Who have a new album.
Uh.
The HU Who, the Mongolian
Oh.
metal band.
I thought you meant like the Who. And I was
No, not
what?
not the Who.
the not the Who, the
Yeah.
the which is a more suiting way of saying who for them.
It really is.
Ooh.
Exactly.
Has anyone
Exactly
watched
like
the
that.
first Lord of the... No, I have not.
Mrs. Pastor is currently in the midst of it. Because honestly, like, I just don't care about Lord of the Rings. So she's like, oh, good, so I can watch it.
Is she enjoying it?
Hold on, let me check. Hey, Mrs. Pastor, are you enjoying the thing? Meh, so far.
Okay. You have to remember that a lot of people in Southern California come from out of state due to the huge Navy. I understand all of that. What I'm saying is this guy was born and fucking raised in Los Angeles. And he was like a racist country boy. Am I the only one that thinks that that's fucking weird?
Yes, apparently.
Okay. Okay. Fine. I am out of touch. I can live with that.
You sheltered creature.
I guess so. It just, I don't know. So, okay.
So speaking of sheltered creatures. Oh, okay, you go first.
I have a question.
Okay.
Your tattoo, when you got it done, how much did it cost?
Yeah.
If I can pry.
A lot.
Did you pay
but I
per
also got
session?
Yes.
Okay. So when you went for your first session, how much did it cost, roughly?
I'm pretty sure it was like 300 at a time, but I also was like, I got a pretty good deal because like my artist was a dude that I had known since high school.
Right. So, how much did you tip?
A lot.
Like,
Like I tipped at least, I'm guessing I tipped at least 20%.
okay. So,
And I distinctly remember like asking the counter girl what's appropriate, and I did what she said.
right.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but that's what I did. It's like I asked the counter girl what's appropriate, and I did what she said.
I was shocked. So, while I was sitting there, there were people coming in and getting piercings because like one of the best body piercers in town works at that shop. She was there working. And when people would pay, they would say, "Would you like to add a tip to that?" And the people would say, "Oh yes, put this much money on, as a tip." And it was like, so the one person came in and got a piercing. It was like $65, and their tip was $5. And I was like, okay, that's seems low to me, but whatever. I don't know.
Seems like that should be like, I would probably tip 20,
Yeah, like
but like,
whatever. Maybe I'm out of
Yeah.
touch. So then the guy in front of me with the hand tattoo, he comes out. I don't know what. I mean, he was
actually
in there.
no. If it was 65, I probably would have tipped 10. But like just
Right.
around there.
Yeah.
Right? Like
So the guy, I don't know what his total was, but he was there from 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock. So he was there 3 hours.
3 hours of work.
I'm assuming he was there for a touch up, but I'm assuming that it was like $100 to $150 an hour, right? Roughly.
Yeah, like it would be.
Like-
I mean, if she's like,
The shop
if the
base,
artist is new to the shop, but like,
right, but the shop base pay or base price is $150 an hour. Like that's
Oh,
what they
that-
tell you.
yeah.
That they're like, this is what the base is going to be. Your artist may charge you more depending on what it is.
yeah, okay, so he's probably
So-
paying at least that.
Right.
So say 450.
Right. And he's checking out, and they're like, "Would you like to add a tip to that?" And he was like, "Yeah, put $10 on there." And I was like,
Seriously?
"What?" I was like, "Well, what?"
Wow.
And so this was bad of me. I never talked about money with her before we started. Never even discussed how much it was going to cost.
Yeah.
I was like, "It's a small thing. I don't care." It'll
Right.
probably
Like
be
it's,
like
it's not. It probably couldn't have taken more than an hour, right?
we were talking a lot, so it
Oh,
ended up
well,
taking
yeah.
like 2. It took as long to get them lined
Oh,
up
yeah.
on my fingers as it did to do the actual tattoo. But we were bullshitting the entire time, so it took like 2 hours. I assumed it would be like $200, roughly. I was like
Yeah.
$200-300. It's probably gonna be right in there somewhere. We get done, and she's like, "You know what? It'll be like $100. I'll charge you $100." And I
Oh.
was like, "Oh."
So
Well,
tip her 50,
shit.
call it good.
That's what I did.
Like-
I tipped her $50.
Like-
It blew their fucking minds. She was like, "Oh
That
my
you would
god!"
tip?
That I tipped her $50. Like,
But like
she was
if you know the shop base rate is 150,
right, and I was like, we were in there for 2 hours.
yeah, like that's like when you like.
Like, I
I
understand
thought
that
that was
it's
just
not
a thing. Like if you go to a restaurant and your food gets comped, you tip the server like
Anyway.
what your food would have cost.
right. So I was talking to my mom, who recently got a tattoo. We were talking about like sharing our experiences with one another, and she said, "I have a question for you." And I was like, "Okay." She said, "How much did you tip?" And I said, it was $100 and I tipped 50. And she did the same thing with her artist, and her artist was shocked as well, was blown away. Her artist charged her like $300. Her tattoo, it's like a full
Yeah.
and she was like, "Well, shit," and she tipped her like $150 or something. And the artist was blown away. And I'm like, "What are people tipping their tattoo artists? What the fuck is going on?"
Because like, so I'm trying to think. So anytime something gives me like an automatic tip option, I always just pick the highest one.
Right. Which is usually 20%.
So yes, some places 25.
Right.
Like the the restaurant I always go to, I tip 15% if I'm doing a pickup and 25% for delivery, because those are like 25's the highest option on the auto thing. And
See,
the auto thing's
there's
just
where
easy.
we are a little different. I don't tip if I'm ordering takeout because I'm like,
If
you as a server did fuck all.
if I was not, so some of it for me, it's because the place that I usually get takeout from is like right next door to the church,
Mm.
and they know I work at the church,
Right.
so I'm going to
Like
tip
if you're
like-
going to do the regular
like that's
thing,
building a
then
relationship. Yeah.
for sure.
And I'm just like, yeah, like it's just their prices are low enough. Just cost of life. But like even for pickup, I usually will tip like at least 10%, because like there's stuff that needs to be done for that.
Well, and I guess for me, like I usually shoot for 20% if it's food related at all. It's 20%. If it's a tattoo or a piercing, it's gonna be a lot higher because you're doing something to me permanently for the rest of my life. You're going to get a good tip. I don't give a shit.
Well, and it also gets different, like if it's like if I'm working with the owner of the shop versus an artist at the shop, like I'll tip different.
Really?
Because like
you're like
I
the guy
tip
who
less if it's like
really
well, because they're getting like they're not losing any money on like you know what I mean?
Yeah, like they don't have to pay
So like
a booth
if
fee
I
or whatever.
Yeah. And a lot of times like and again, because my tattoo experience was with a friend of mine, like of course I'm going to tip good. Okay, so
wait,
saying you bring that up,
you know, many people
I always
don't
want to tip housekeeping,
Wait,
but I never have cash,
hold on,
and that's
like,
the problem.
Housekeeping at like a hotel?
Yeah, you're supposed to tip like a couple bucks a day.
What? I've never tipped housekeeping at a hotel. When I worked housekeeping at a hotel, I never got tips. I've never heard that this was a thing that we needed to be tipping on.
Yeah, I don't remember what the amount is, but you're supposed to tip like a couple bucks a day for housekeeping. But like, again,
I had no idea.
I never have cash.
Yeah.
So like, there's like, how do you
tip housekeeping? Do you just leave it when you leave?
Yeah. Now what you're supposed to do is you leave like a couple bucks, like, $5 or something every day. Because sometimes it's a different housekeeper.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So like, so where do you put the money? Like,
I put it like in a conspicuous location on the counter with a little note that just says like housekeeping, thank you, something like that. Like, but again, I don't usually tip because I never have cash, but like when I do, that's how I do it.
Weird. This is all new to me. I didn't know that was a thing that people do. How about everyone else? Reaper? I'm guessing Sang does.
So
Barlazy, do you?
Barlazy, yes. It would be easier to add it to your bill when you check out, but there's no option to do that.
Well, and I'm gonna throw this out there. It's not the same housekeeping people from day to day.
Well, and that's why you're supposed to do it like you're supposed to put like $5 out every day. But if you could just add it to your bill, like if you could just put on a tip for housekeeping and then just like let the hotel's system sort it out, that would be like, or we just get rid of tipping and you just pay people what they deserve, and tipping is a bonus, not
just pay people a living wage.
Yeah,
that sounds better. I've never heard that was a thing. Did not know.
Yep.
But yeah, I was shocked about the tipping that I saw, the fact that they were blown away, and the fact that the same thing happened to my mom. I was like, what is happening in this world? What happened? I tip all service workers when I can, drivers, housekeepers, fluffers.
Yeah, like
you don't tip fluffers. You just give them the tip.
I was waiting for that. I knew it was coming. Oh, that was not on purpose.
Whoa.
Oh,
What
man.
is happening?
Oh, well, that's a something. So subject change.
Yes. Okay.
So I had a thought today
Okay.
because before the show started, we were like singing a coffee jingle, like, right? The best part of waking up,
Folgers in your
Folgers
cup.
in your cup,
Yeah.
right? So have you seen on TikTok the like Gen Z is just like roasting millennials for being cringe
Yeah.
and just talking about like everything is like internet culture, like doggo and I did a thing and
Let
yada,
me
yada, yada.
rephrase. I have not seen that. I have seen millennials responding to that.
Oh, okay, right. That's true. I have mostly also seen millennials responding.
Which, by the way, what is doggo? I've not heard this one.
Oh, that was a thing from something. It's just like it's a dog thing. Yeah.
It's okay. It's
But
a dog
anywho,
thing. Yes.
so like it's a dog. I don't know. It's from a meme. But here's my thought, right? The reason why millennials' entire existence is basically just memes is because we all just grew up watching TV like
Mhm.
constantly.
Mhm.
And so we were trained to pick up on things
Mhm.
like the double mint gum commercial.
We also learned how to process emotions through entertainment.
Yep, absolutely.
So we all, like, if I show you a meme or a GIF from a movie that is a very specific scene from a movie that we've both seen, I'm not just showing you someone moving around. Like, I'm sharing the emotion of that scene with you.
Wait, the group that sang the Folgers jingle is Rockapella from Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, which also proves my point because that theme song slapped.
I mean, it really did. It was pretty good. That's
But-
crazy.
So we get all of this like we grew up with these like expressing ourselves through jingles,
Yeah.
which turned into expressing ourselves through memes, which turned into expressing ourselves through GIFs,
Right.
so that like ended up just becoming our entire personality
Yeah.
because it's all we had.
I find it odd that Gen Z is coming after us for like memeing and gifing the way that we do when 90% of their conversations is in fucking emoticons.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the amount of emoticons that show up behind like someone on that, and then there's like 15 or 20 different emoticons, and I'm like, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah. It's just ours are more entertaining.
Yeah, we enjoy ours more. I don't know
But
why.
yeah, like,
Why is Gen Z coming after us so hard? What the fuck did we do to them?
none of us are really sure, actually. Apparently, it's just because we're old and cringe,
Okay.
which we know. Like,
Right.
we're aware. Like, we're
Again,
okay with it.
We were cringe from the beginning. Like
we never weren't.
you,
And it's things that like we started out doing ironically, like lol,
yep.
but then like
Dope.
it just became not ironic after a while.
Dope. I say dope all the fucking time. I started saying that to make fun of people who said dope in the 2000s because it was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard in my life.
And now look at you now.
I know.
Dope is.
It's awful.
I don't have a dope sticker.
Oh,
Pastor has it on
man.
their laptop.
Okay. I'll have to send you another one. I think it's because we are their
Actually-
parents where the boomers are their grandparents.
We're not though.
Yeah, but I didn't do it.
Gen Z is Gen X parents.
Yeah.
Or
Like-
Gen X. Yeah, Gen X is the parents of Gen Z.
I still say Garts. I know, right? Like I say Garts to
Oh yeah,
people all the
I
time.
say Garts. Yeah. And they're like, "Why are you Garts?" What is-
Every
what is
time,
Garts?
every time it gets auto corrected, I'm like, oh yeah, that's not a thing.
Not a word.
We all know yeah, right? Like we know that we're dumb. We know that
Well,
we're cringy. We know that everything that we've ever liked is
right.
bad.
It just is, and it's fine. Like it's okay.
People have
We're down with it.
People have been saying that to us literally our entire lives. Like
Right.
welcome to the club that hates us. Fucking hop on board, I guess. It just seems a little presumptuous to come after us when we didn't fucking do anything to you.
Especially when like millennials are so generally proud of Gen Z.
Right.
Like
I thought we
are
I
so
thought we
proud of
did
them.
I thought we did a pretty good job
I
of
thought we were
like
good.
being the generation in front of them. I thought we did okay. Like Gen Z did fuck all for us. What did Gen Z ever do? Nothing.
Every single one of us
Slackers.
would belt out the high note from Take on Me in the supermarket. Yes, absolutely true.
That's true.
You gotta go for it.
Yeah. We have no shame.
What do you got to lose?
We have no shame. And now we're getting older and give even less fucks.
Right?
It's horrifying. It's horrifying. We're going to be the worst old people.
Oh. But it's
Like-
gonna be fun though.
Like Gen Z's already old people. Like they're already old.
Because like there is this weird thing where like millennials have somehow just never grown up.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't entirely make sense like how that happened. But like I've known like some boomers like that like all of a sudden just things were not fun.
Yeah. Weird.
Like and it's just like, do you hate fun?
Yeah. Like what happened to you that made you start wearing slacks? What happened in your
Why
life?
do you wear why do you wear khaki shorts?
Yeah. What
So-
happened? When did you okay, what was the decision? What happened in your life that made you go, today I'm going to the store and buying a pair of Crocs? Like what was the horrible thing that happened to you that morning?
I don't know though. I do have a pair of dope slippers though.
So do I. My slippers are fucking Adidas though. Like come on.
Oh, nice.
Come on.
I have some like I have the old. I'll have to grab them when we go on break. I have the like oldest old man slippers that are just so comfy.
They're
love them.
amazing. See,
They're
check
a
this
gift
out.
from my brother-in-law. Oh, okay.
But
Yep, the slides.
I would
yep.
like to point out they're like falling apart. They're so old. I really need some new ones.
Yeah, I'll grab my slippers because they are so comfy.
Yeah, it is weird hearing music that like our parents used to get mad at us over playing in the grocery store. Like that's a weird thing.
Where was I? I was literally somewhere and I said that and I was like, what happened that like the offspring is in a doctor's office now?
I know. Like what? I wear khaki pants, but they're baggy, and
No,
I
see,
usually wear
that's-
mocking t-shirts.
It's not actually about the khaki. It's specifically like those khaki shorts that are like Dockers but shorts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's that specific kind of khaki short. Because I'm not talking about like cargo shorts that happen to be khaki.
I mean, I'm gonna
It's
throw
like
out
they're
there.
like shorts Dockers.
I'm gonna throw out their cargo shorts in general.
I mean,
I feel like that's our old.
I don't
people
have
gear.
any like I don't have any problem with other people wearing shorts. I just like I think I look so weird like wearing anything but like athletic shorts.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't
So, like it's pants or it's like Adidas shorts.
It took me 30 some years to find some shorts that I liked, and I found a couple. Found like 2 pair that I fucking loved.
Okay.
And I was like, yes, I finally found some shorts. They were like plaid. They were so nice.
Oh, okay.
And they were like a good length, and they were a good style. I fucking loved them.
Like the not because they always end up like just a hair too long or like just a hair too short.
These were good. I had to get used to them because I'm not used to my knees showing, and my knees would show.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was weird, but I got used to it, and I really loved them. And then we had the fence fall, and I got ate up with chiggers, and I stopped wearing shorts, and I gave them away. I was like, I'm never wearing shorts again because of all these
Oh.
scars on my legs. And then the scars went away,
And now you want to wear shorts.
and now I can't find the shorts again.
Yeah.
It's awful. There's no shorts. Our entire generation, the only shorts we get are, you know what we need to bring back? Since
Kilts?
we're fucking cringy anyway, The jorts, the fucking clam diggers.
Shorts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
They're making appearances.
Did you know that Hot Topic is turning back into Hot Topic again?
Wait, what?
Like all the stuff that was in Hot Topic in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Wait, so they've circled back to nostalgia now?
Like the big
Weird.
Jinko jeans and like the RAR shit is all coming back into
man.
style.
So
But I don't know if that means that Hot Topic is like, I don't know if that means that like kids are circling back around to cool, or if Hot Topic is just fucking irrelevant and they know that their only market is old people.
I think it's that one. I'm pretty sure it's that one.
Hot Topic is not punk rock, but is about as punk rock as you're gonna get in the fucking mall. Is jorts like close fitting jeans that are shorts or include baggy denim shorts? Jorts were like 3/4 pants. They were like the male versions of clam diggers.
Yeah, they were like capris for dudes. But there
Yeah.
also is the jean short version, which like
Right.
needs to be custom made.
Yeah, but those are like joking. You don't wear those unless you're because your ass is gonna be hanging out and the pockets are.
Oh no, that's not like the up there cutoffs. Like there's like layers
No.
of cutoff that you
Nope.
can cut off.
Nope. You either go 3/4 shorts. If you're wearing jeans, you're either at 3/4 or your ass cheeks hanging out. There is no fucking in between.
Then I'm gonna have to fix some of my jeans because I'm gonna have to
There
get
we
it so
go.
my butt cheeks hanging out. And you got to have the pocket like
Yep.
hanging out below.
Below out the
Yeah.
back, yep, like a little flag,
okay.
like a mud flap.
Yep, it's an announcement. Oh man, the other thing that's been a trip to watch is like all the Gen Z kids that are like bragging about their low-rise jeans,
Oh
and
my
all the
God, it's
millennials
so
being
weird.
like, no, those are like mid-rise. You don't know low-rise.
I saw a girl. She had to be like mid-20s, and her entire TikTok is just her in these clothes and like dancing, right? Very TikToky. But the entire style, like I had a moment because the entire
really?
style is like the huge baggy jeans, super low with like the hip riding underwear coming up over the hips. That was
Oh, yeah,
like
the whale tail.
I
It is confusing me to no end that the whale tail's coming back.
like, are they gonna start getting tramp stamps, like butterfly tramp stamps again?
Probably.
What is happening? What is
Oh
happening?
my gosh, that's just what we need.
Tasmanian devil
If tribal
tattoos.
like tribal tattoos, I think are going to be safely gone because
You're-
they're like
no.
disrespect. No,
No,
are you freaking
there's
kidding
a
me?
second wave of tribal happening. It is. I will say it looks better, but then I say that and I'm
Are
like,
you freaking kidding me?
yeah. There's a whole here. Let me. It's a whole fucking thing. It's a whole thing.
Like I figured that would just get attacked by like the cultural appropriation police.
No, it is called. So there's neo. If you you call it neo tribal, but there's two different neo tribal styles, and one is like where you get the It is like tribal. It is like ethnically tribal.
Huh. Okay.
There's that. There's like all the geometric shit. That's technically neo tribal, but then there's stuff like this. And it looks like fucking like this dude's art. I love this guy's art.
All right. Where are you dropping this one?
It is in the chat.
Oh, okay.
This dude's from Russia, and he does this stuff with like. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh. Okay.
But like that's
So like it's definitely
fucking-
still got like the 90s vibe.
but it looks cool now.
I mean, it's still a little cringy.
Oh yeah,
But like,
his
huh.
his TikTok, his stuff is his normal stuff looks more calligraphy, unless someone
Okay.
is trying to mock him there and kind of failing.
Oh yeah, and those shorts are.
But
I mean,
there's
they're
actually
fine for what they are. Like,
there's a woman I found when I was looking for tattoo artists. There's a woman in a town here that only does stick and poke tattoos, but
oh wow.
they're not Like she does it like most stick and poke tattoos are because you're cheap and you want to do it the cheap way. But she does it because she's like a super hippie and she's like, we want to do it in a
Okay.
way that's less damaging to your body, and this is less damaging to your body.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
All right.
sure, why not? Those are a staple for the cholos in Southern California. Man,
See, those are the shorts, Reaper, that like people would get and then wear them as pants.
yes, because you
Like,
can't
they
wear
just-
them around your
just-
waist.
Yeah, you just sag them down
Mhm.
so that they are almost pants.
Yes, that was the thing, man. You had to winch your winch your belt down. Barlazy can attest. That ass out. Did not care. Winch that, belt down.
That was the thing.
I had a pair of size 60 pants that I wore in
Yep.
high school.
That was the thing.
Huge. They were chef pants too. They were fucking hilarious.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, the neon
Sang
spandex.
of neon spandex. Dude, I rocked some hammer pants.
Dude, I had spandex, but I was so young and so bony that it was baggy.
What did
It's
what was
awful.
okay? What there's something like it had a super stupid name, and I want to say it was like it was either late 80s or early 90s. It all kind of blends together. They were pants, and I want to say they were called jam pants or like jams or something.
I mean, I remember jams, but those were like the clam digger things, right? That was another name for them.
Oh, maybe. But they all were like super colorful.
Oh yeah, never mind. I know what you're talking about. These fucking
Yeah, those.
oh my, these
I had a
things
ton of
here,
those.
right here. Hold on, go. Why won't you go? It won't let me do it. Let me see if I can get just the picture. Oh my god, these are amazing. Open image in new tab. Here we go. Those. That right there.
Oh yeah. Yes. The like bowling alley floor jams.
I have some friends.
Yeah,
Paisley was
big
pretty
in the
big.
90s.
I have some friends who own a toy store in Nashville, and it's called it's called
They're not tragically 80s. Those are fantastically
aren't they
80s.
know? Fucking great. Their store is called, if anyone ever wants to go, Totally Rad Toy House,
Okay.
and their entire vibe is like you are inside of fucking Pee Wee's Playhouse.
And they're in Nashville?
It's amazing. Yes. Totally Rad
Oh, they
Toys.
do- I have like and okay, and so this is a friend of yours, right?
Yes.
Because I have some toys that I want to sell.
Oh.
So do you remember the other Ghostbusters?
Yes. Oh my god, yes, I loved them. Nerds.
I have like a whole set
yes.
of the other Ghostbusters toys.
with the
because-
monkey, they had that giant gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
But so,
little
like-
dune buggy.
So I don't want to keep them because like I don't want to do anything with them. But like
Right.
I also don't want to go through the effort of like trying to sell them on
Selling
eBay.
Yeah. You might hit them up. I
So,
don't know
but,
if they do buys over the internet. They might though.
Okay.
I love that you can buy
I
these
just-
pants on the internet right now. Like these are $33, and there are like 8 or 9 different styles, and all of them are horrendously obnoxious.
Oh man.
I love it. And what's shaking stars? How is stars? We've not had. I feel stars deprived.
Oh,
I need more stars in my life.
I have Silverhawk stuff.
Ooh,
And they're apparently buying.
wow, these are.
Oh, it is by appointment, so I'd have to go to Nashville. That takes too much work. There's bound to be something in
Yes.
Pittsburgh.
Look up group actions that go through an auction. Group auctions that go through an auction house. They sell stuff in lots all the time for
Oh,
various
yeah.
sellers. Oh, hi, you
Yeah,
are
I just-
here.
Like I wanted to go to like it's stuff that like I know that like somebody who's a collector would actually like want, because they're still
Right.
mostly in pretty good shape. I just don't want them in my basement anymore, and I don't want to just like give them to like a yard sale or a Salvation Army or something, because they'll just
sell them in a lot on eBay. Just take a picture of the whole thing and be like, "Here's a whole bunch of toys. Give me 50
Yeah.
bucks." Then you only have to ship it once.
That's true.
Or you can look and see if there's an eBay store near you. Remember? That was a thing. There's
That
still a
was a
couple
thing.
around where you can just take your shit and I'll sell it for you. I remember the eBay store here. And I was like, damn, that's a good idea.
Yeah, when I was on my when I was living in Iowa, my landlord did that.
Yeah. It's an easy way to make some money there for a minute.
You have to look. Because now that I live near a major city, like
That's true.
there's just more options for that.
That is very true. Shall we take a quick break? I need water.
Yes, let's take a
Fluids.
quick break, and then we'll come back and break people's brains, apparently.
Yes, we are going to. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. Go put your helmets on, kids. This is going to get a little brain
Gonna
bendy.
hurt.
It's going to be amazing, though. You'll love it. We'll be back in a minute with your. Oh, wait, while we're gone.
Oh, I need to watch that movie again. It's been a while.
Which one?
I'll be back in a minute with your pill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It has. It's been a minute for me, too. While we're gone, if you could go to any place in time, when would it be and where would it be? Like, where in space time would you go in history?
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll be right back in a minute with your pill. Are back. Hello, how are you?
Okay, so these are my fantastic
Okay, those are
like
nice.
old man slippers.
Yeah, those are nice. You don't put the thing over your heel though, do you? Neither do I, sir. Neither
You
do I.
can't.
Nope.
Like,
It's blasphemous.
look how mashed down that thing is, man.
It has
Like,
to. It has to. That's how they get comfortable. Do I get to keep? You can't say that word anymore. It's 2022.
So, what?
Time travel is a white man's fancy. No, that's understandable.
Yeah, that's fair.
Although all of the
Half
places,
the places I would like to see wouldn't.
all of the places I would want to go have nothing to do with white history. Like,
See, I'm trying to think. Like if I could go to any time or place, like I'd rather go like to the future than to the past.
yeah, but we can't go to the future.
Oh, it has to be
Well,
the past. Okay.
We'll get there. Because we might be able to go to the future, but if so, then there's problems.
Well,
It says a lot about us. So here's the thing.
so I think, okay.
There's a video that someone at work shared months ago, and we've been joking about the undulating time snake ever since. And it's basically a video explaining the 10 dimensions and how they all function. It's about what you would expect.
Right.
Like, we live in 3, technically 4 dimensions, because we live in three-dimensional space, but we are also existing in time. But that means that there's a level above us where people would be able to exist in all of that. So they would be able to see us throughout all of our time, which would look like an undulating time snake. Hence the undulating time snake joke.
Hence undulating time snake. Yeah.
So you had mentioned on the Discord that this is basically how you think of God. That
Yeah, like as being an entity like outside of time, but like not in like a outside of time sense, is just as in like an exists in a higher dimensional space. So it's such that like we're just getting snippets, but yeah.
which makes sense because that's how he can know the future but have no control over it, because he's simply viewing time in whole without
Right.
really having the ability.
And potentially like depending on like how many dimensions up, like either just like observing time like in the way that we experience like looking at a room, or like as you get higher up on the time snake, like
the time snakes.
like kind of all of the different possibilities that could happen in the midst of like, yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's where my brain gets hung up, though. Is if that's true, whether this has whether God, I don't know.
Right. But just the dimension stuff.
If there is another dimension and there are creatures in this next dimension up, that means that we have no control over what we're doing. We do not make any decisions. Everything is predestined. Every movement, every muscle twitch, all of it is predestined, and we are merely, our brain is lying to us to make us feel like we are making these decisions.
No, okay. So there's a couple things first. So there are some theories out there that like we never actually make decisions.
Right.
We just talk ourselves into what we're going to do anyways.
Right. Our brain tells us that we are making.
Yeah, like our brain decides we're going to do a thing, and then everything else is just us talking ourselves into that thing that our brain has already decided is going to happen.
Right.
Free
will is an illusion.
Like that is a theory in like, but I don't think that knowing that this 4-dimensional pathway will always go the direction that it is going in any way takes away our choice in the matter.
But if it's already going to go there, then we by definition don't have a choice.
But there exists there exists a slightly differently pointed fourth dimension, like
Right. So
fourth
now we're
dimensional
going up.
line.
Now we're going up another level where not only is there me in my time snake, in which my existence will stretch through time, but there is every other possibility, every other variation of every decision that I make throughout my entire life, and all of the myriads of time snakes.
And that's kind of where like multiverse theory comes in, right? Like
Right.
there was I don't remember which book it was, but there was like some sci-fi book I was reading, and like the way that they figured out how like faster than light travel works, it's basically like there's a universe in which that everything is the same, except that like instead of being here, you're over there, and you just hop universe, like you just hop into that universe, and that's like you don't actually break any rules, you just are in a different universe now.
And poor you from that other universe is now back where you were, and is like, how the fuck did I get here?
Yeah, but like that's just because there are like infinite branches of things. So like while yes, like on this line, we will only ever go in the direction that we're going, like when we make decisions, like things branch differently. Now, of course, like I don't think functionally that works. Like
Right.
whatever the theory behind it is, like infinitely many multiverses, like that's never something that we will ever be able to like comprehend.
Right. But if you think about it in a dimensional way, like, okay, so if you have an apple in 3 dimensions and you put it into a 2-dimensional universe, in that 2-dimensional universe, the apple exists as a slice of itself, right?
Yeah.
You don't see the whole apple, you only see that slice, that 2-dimensional slice of it. So
right,
our existence in this place, in the next dimension up, we are experiencing this moment in the time snake that is our life. Us from being born, time snaking through our entire lives till we die, we're experiencing this moment.
So that's where I liked like how in the video they explained it by like taking 3-dimensional space, compressing it down to a point. Like this point is 3-dimensional space, and then the line that connects from like your birth to your death is the 4th dimension.
It's the time snake. Right.
Right.
So then,
and like, but we only experience it like at the slice.
Right. But then theoretically, the next step up could be my time snake, could be every possible variation of that time snake.
Yes.
And that would be the next iteration or whatever.
Which does like
it hurts.
Like
it hurts.
that's where it starts to get really messy, right? Because if everyone has this like infinitely large time snake,
but we're talking about we're talking about a dimension that we like. I can understand the time snake dimension. That would make sense to me. I've seen the fucking Donnie Darko. I get it. The next level up, though, I don't.
So okay. So here's kind of how I think about it. Like on a computer screen, right? Like you can draw a square on a computer screen, right? Like you can go to MS Paint and real easy just like make a square.
Yes.
Right? As soon as you try to make a cube on a computer screen, it doesn't look right. Like it's not right.
Right.
If you try to represent a 4-dimensional cube on a computer screen, then it's really not right.
Right.
So what we're doing, like we can wrap our brains just like if you look at a cube on a computer monitor, you can look at it and go, yes, that is a cube.
Right.
And I think that like we can wrap our heads around time in that way. Like
Right.
we can handle like one dimension up.
So think of it this way. On my computer, I draw a square. And then I hit print, and my 3D printer prints a cube. So we've taken that two-dimensional object, and now we have a three-dimensional object. And now I take a camera and I set it up, and I open the thing, and I throw the cube across the room, and then I close the thing. So that picture is now a picture of a three-dimensional object moving through a fourth-dimensional space. Moving through the fourth dimension.
It is a two-dimensional image of a three-dimensional object moving through the fourth dimension.
Yes. Right? So now if I take that, this is why it hurts. Because if I take that cube now and throw it in every possible direction at the same time and take a picture of that, now I've got a two-dimensional picture of a three-dimensional object traveling through the fifth dimension. Right?
Kind of, yeah. That tracks.
Kind of. Yes, I'm touching Pastor's time snake.
I'm an adult. But that's where it like that is exactly why it gets messy. Like if you look up, if you Google 4D cube,
right, that's the weird.
Like, it looks like
it's the time cube.
It
man.
makes no sense in two dimensions.
Right, and it doesn't make sense in three dimensions either. Like it hurts in three dimensions,
but it makes slightly more sense in three dimensions.
Right, but it's got to be moving. Because we can't understand it like unless it's moving. It has
to be moving, yes.
Right.
But that is the problem of thinking about time in that way. And from my perspective, that's why God is so hard to understand, because God is this greater than five-dimensional being.
What I didn't understand about that video, and I watched it with a room full of intelligent people, a room full of programmers. That doesn't necessarily mean we were intelligent.
Yeah, that doesn't mean.
But the thing that I didn't understand is it's explaining all of this, right? And it says, here's a dot. And it's here's a line. And it goes through all of the dimensions until 10. And then all of a sudden, there can't possibly be anything beyond 10 dimensions because somehow
that is something. That's one of the weird theories. How many dimensions? Because that was like it got to the like every Big Bang that could have Big Banged.
Right.
Like it was the version with Jonathan Galecki and the version where they like cast the other Rusty from the vacation shows.
Right. A photo is light captured mechanically, not images. No, that's true. Which brings me to another point. Technically, there can never be moving forward in the future any faster than we are right now. Because every direction is the past. Oh, it hurts my head so fucking much.
No, except you can. Because the faster you go, the slower time goes.
No, I know, but you can never go backwards because every direction, or you can never go forward because literally every direction is backwards in time.
Well, no, we're just seeing it backwards.
But we will only ever be able to see it backwards. We can never go fast enough to see it forwards in time.
Unless, well, no,
Unless
unless
we
we actually
fucking
went
stop.
there.
Holy shit. Hold on. Hold on. Fuck. Okay. Oh my god. So. Oh god.
Turner Brown Bright Eyes.
So. No, because you're still just moving. Oh fuck! I don't know. Every direction is
So
backward.
but only, it's not really backward. It's just you're looking backwards.
Right, but we can never catch up to it.
But it's, I mean, okay.
Like we would never be able to physically get to a place that
Well, no,
hadn't
'cause as
been
soon
there.
as As soon as you go there, then you're there.
Okay, so here we're looking. We have this new telescope, right? And it sees
Yep.
way out into space, and it sees
Right.
these things that are 300 bajillion years old. Now
But
those
only because they're 300, it's only because they're 13 billion light years away.
right, those things are not. The light that we're seeing is the light that took all of that time to get here. So that's
Correct.
not what it looks like right now. We have no idea what it looks like.
Correct.
They could be bright white just coming at us from all directions. We don't know yet because it hasn't gotten here. And it technically it's pitch black. There is no stars in the sky. It just hasn't gotten here yet. Oh god, it's horrifying. Anyway,
It's just math. It's fine.
math is fucking
Dude,
scary.
I've done this math. It's not that bad.
So, say there's a planet out there. We upgrade the thing, and there's a planet, and we can see this planet, but it's 13 billion light years away. So we're looking at this planet. We're seeing it 13 billion years ago, right?
Correct.
Say we build a machine then. We build a spaceship that can go as fast as the speed of light.
Then it will take 13 billion years to get where it was.
So we will never be able to see. We will never be able to get backward. We can never go back.
Well, right.
But we can't go forward because it's there.
Well, okay, but that's like saying, like, if I left my house right now and I drove to your house,
You would
Like-
never get here.
I won't be in the room with you right now. I'll be in the room with you in like 6 hours.
But there's another problem here, which is that in order to get there, we would have to go close to the speed of light to see it anywhere close to what it looks like that we're looking at it. We would have to go at this technically 13 billion times faster than the speed of light, and we could get there right now, right?
But then we wouldn't see it as it was back then. We'd see it as it is right now.
Right. But also time would have stopped already. Like time stops at the speed of light.
Cor-
Well,
Time functionally stops if you
roughly. Somewhere around there.
time stops for it's
We-
not that time stops
We can no
so
longer
much as the time, like people trying to observe you, like dude, it's all about like references, right? Like it doesn't really matter, like
right. We can no
Okay, so
longer
all of this
experience time moving because everything is moving. Like our
okay.
experience is no longer moving.
except it is for us because everything is about references. So like it is all about like who is looking at who from where, right? So like if you have if I am in a spaceship and I can like accelerate that spaceship to the speed of light, never mind that it is impossible. No matter what I'm doing, my clock will always tick once per second.
Right. It's the dog
Like
from
if
Back
I
to the
look
Future.
at my watch, it is always going to tick once per second, no matter what.
Right.
But if someone from outside who is stopped, who is like relative to them, I am going the speed of light,
Right.
then they look at my clock and it is functionally like it is spinning infinitely fast.
Infinitely slow.
No, if you look at their clock is right. Their clock is infinitely fast. Your clock is stopped.
Right.
If they're looking at your clock is stopped. If you're looking at their clock, it is spinning infinitely fast. And that's why the math breaks, and that's why the speed of light is
Because
the speed limit, because it's a divide by zero issue.
because but it's also technically tied to gravity, right? Like we would break gravity at some point.
Not really. Gravity is different. Gravity's not really tied to the speed of light. Like it is, but it's not.
But it's tied to time.
Not really.
I mean, it's
Gravity
space.
is its own thing.
Oh, it's space.
Gravity is a function of mass, not a function of time.
But it's space time. Time is
Mass warps space-time. But space-time and mass are different things.
right, but they're connected. Like we can't experience time without space. And
Right.
like
But
I
a
said,
massless thing still experiences time.
oh, that's true. Gravity can be stronger than gravity.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
Light,
because-
like light
Black
has a functionally like it has a functionally zero mass, but there is like an amount of mass
I
because
hate
like
all
light
of this.
can push things. It's all math.
This all hurts.
This was my physics 3 class in college.
What I guess I don't.
Like I promise you the math makes sense.
No,
Like when you
I-
actually like look at it and get into the equations, it all makes sense.
Okay.
It's just you need the like you have to have the math for it to make sense.
I will never know that math. I don't want to. It hurts just thinking about thinking about that.
Okay, so going back to like the dimensional stuff,
The
right?
undulating time snake. Yes.
So there's a lot of people who are just like deeply uncomfortable with the idea of imaginary numbers.
Okay.
And part of that's the name, like the name is not helpful.
Right.
But like we're used to like numbers that are positive, numbers that are negative, but there is a whole other dimension of numbers that exists that are the imaginary numbers.
Okay.
And for the most part, those numbers don't matter.
Okay.
Like for the most part, like the average person, like when you're adding up a tip, you're not going to use imaginary numbers.
I mean, I've seen it happen before.
Well, right. But there are times where the only thing that explains stuff is imaginary numbers. For insurance, for example, there we go. For instance is what I was trying to say. So, you know, on your power supply, on your computer,
Yes.
they all have like that rating, right? The such and such percent efficiency.
Yes.
So that is how much of the electrical power coming from the wall gets turned into usable power by your computer and how much of it just gets turned into heat.
Right.
The equation that tells you how much gets turned into heat is basically a complex number.
Okay. Like 12 is more complex than 10. Right?
Well, like has a component that is real and has a component that is imaginary.
Okay.
So like, so it's one of those things that doesn't make sense until it does.
But it feels like we're just putting shit in places when we can't figure it out. That we're like, we don't know, so we're just going to put a fake thing here.
Except we're not. And that's the problem. Because we teach it as if it's Bleen, but it's like, it's an actual thing that is real and costs billions of dollars because of like wasted electricity. But like, that's just a very practical like example of it. Like
Right.
that waste heat, that it's all like, it is the imaginary portion of the equation that is where your electricity comes from.
I find that odd.
Math checks out.
The math also says we live in a simulation. So I don't know how much we can trust this fucking math. The math literally says that the math is fake. The fucking math says the math is fake.
Even biology says that our eyes consistently lie to us because they
have to.
They are interpolating the delay between like our optic nerve and our brain and telling us what's happening a millisecond in the future and not what's actually happening, which is why like optical illusions work.
I hate that.
You're welcome.
I hate that the human body is so fucking weird. like it's so weird that it's quite possible that I literally have no control over the words coming out of my mouth, that my body is doing this and my brain is just like, I'm in control.
Mm-hmm. It is possible, yes. It is a theory. We talked about it already.
Yeah. The consciousness is really just a fucking lie. It's just a lie. It's just a lie.
The answer is 42, sir. The question is, what is 6 times 9? So it explains a lot about the universe.
It's everything. The older I get, the more apparent it becomes. And the more it makes sense to me, like actually logically makes sense. Hassan is Sabah, the guy who created the Hashashin.
The guy who Ubisoft kind of butchered.
Right. Which I feel kind of bad about. But at the same time, we're on the side of history that already kind of butchered him, right?
Starzy, that's the joke. That's 100% the joke.
So he said, everything is permitted and nothing is real. Nothing is real. Everything is permitted. And like, I thought it was pretty words. Right? It sounds like flowery language. It sounds like a poem. That nothing is real and everything is permitted. But it's fucking true. All of it is true. And the older I get, the more none of it matters. And because none of it matters, it's all made up.
There's there is a certain kind of comfort in nihilism.
It's horrifying, but it is, yeah. It's like
It's weirdly comforting.
it's like my depression. There's a part of my depression that when my depression's really bad, it's comfortable because it feels like home. Even though I know it's horrible, it's the same thing.
Well, so
Like,
that's a nihilism, not a not nihilism, nihilism.
nihilism.
So there's like in Christian thinking, like there's like you die and there's nothing until there's something. Like that doesn't really like give that doesn't usually make people feel better, so we don't talk about it much.
Right.
But like you die, there's nothing until there's something. And like
Which is kind
there's
of
something about that nothingness that makes me feel better. That there's just like it's like a potentially really long nap time where it's just like,
but even that, like, the reason I love a nap is because it makes me feel better. But there is, like, that's the absence of everything, right? Like,
well, right, but again, like that's where the like there's a sense that part of that nap time is the like embettering,
the nothing, the giant
like the nothing is it's that like yeah, like it gets weirdly existentialist because of course it does, and like it gets like
Here's the thing that I keep thinking about after we had that conversation the other day. So we're talking about the undulating time snake, right? We're talking about like God, whatever God is, being the thing that experiences all of the one thing, that experiences all of it, right?
mm-hmm.
So, like, we don't know what happens when we die. We don't know where we came from before we were born. But there is a version there could be a thing that is a step up on this ladder that is me, that is experiencing this like me sitting down and watching an episode of Friends.
Well, that's oh that there's that freaking long comic. I have it bookmarked somewhere. Hold up, like is that it? That might be it. Yeah, that's it. I'll put it in chatting box. Once I seriously, you gonna be like that? So it's this thing. And it's that like it's that there's this thing, and that thing is you, and that thing is everyone, and in the end, like it's like getting ready for the thing that is next,
Right.
because like you're growing up
But
in like the eternal thing, but yeah,
it gets more complicated though. Because if there I am the extension of a version of me that is experiencing this, and when I die I go back to being able to see the whole undulating time snake and living in that dimension, then it's possible that scientifically we could technically all be the same thing. That we could all be that one thing that is experiencing all of it at once. Right?
That's the argument of that set of comic that I was talking about. Yeah, like that is its premise.
That each of us is just an experience being experienced by the same thing. God, it fucking, and that's like
Well,
the reason the same reason the two-dimensional creature can't understand the whole apple is the reason we can't understand God. Because
and there is
we're
like
dumb.
even in the Christian Bible, like there's kind of a sense of like humans will be joined into this God thing somehow. And of course it doesn't like explain much more than that because, well, exactly the like reason where this conversation is going. Like
Right.
that's all we know. Like we know that like that's the slice we got.
It just it gives me like a weird existential dread. I don't know why.
Really?
Yeah.
It makes me weirdly hopeful. Like
I guess it's that.
so because it makes for me like it turns it into like, and maybe it's just that my depression is chilling out a little bit lately. But like it means that like that whatever's happening right now does matter.
Right. Even though it doesn't at the same time, like.
Right. But like it's not mattering matters.
Oh. Well, that hit different. The things that fuck. The things that don't matter exist
okay,
because
so I've been working through this,
their
like
don't mattering matters. Oh, fuck.
I've been thinking about this a lot because like kind of like a side adventure to me writing my some of my schoolwork. Like I had to write 6 pages on what is like my theology of Christian mission. Like what is it all about? It basically comes down to like Christian mission is just being a Christian, following the teachings of Jesus as you go about your daily life. Like that's what it's supposed to be. Because when you think about it, like what says more about somebody? The things that they do every day when they think no one's paying attention, or the things that they do when they think someone is paying attention?
Right.
Like it's the things that like that's why you like whenever somebody's going out on a first date, like you always say like if they're mean to the waiter, drop them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because like it's what somebody does when it doesn't matter that really says who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think there's something to that, like the things that don't matter actually matter.
Right. But like even on like my brain keeps thinking about the fact that if you look at the entirety of human existence, none of us matter. None of this matters, right? We have not been here long enough for it to matter. In
Except it does.
in a global scale, right?
Right, but except like isn't that part of the crisis that we're dealing with right now, that like we are we, in living our everyday lives, are having consequences on a global scale.
Right.
Now, ultimately, like, if we kill ourselves off, will the earth recover? Absolutely. Like, I'm with George Carlin on that one.
Yeah.
Like, the earth and plastic living together forever, happily ever after. But, like, there is something to that, like, individual human action. Like, one person can actually make a difference. It might take a whole bunch of one people to make a big difference. But, like, sometimes that's all it needs.
We're starting
Like,
a religion.
how many of us
right?
know who John Brown is?
Yeah.
Like, we all know who John Brown is.
It's easy to forget that it won't last forever. Someday it'll all be gone. The people, the civilization, the planet, the sun itself. It'll supernova and possibly create a new sun with new civilization, new people. Nothing can be eternal. But that doesn't mean that we can't find things to enjoy while we're here. True.
See, and I come at that from so the other direction, because that means that we are eternal. Like, the stuff that makes us, the stuff that makes who we are, will continue to exist.
Because we're all stardust.
Yep. Thank you, Carl Sagan.
And we're all...
Like, we are made up of what came before us, and we will make up what comes after us. All the way to the inevitable heat death of the universe.
Because there is no destroying any of it. And there is no creating any of it. So all of us...
I mean, you can convert it back and forth between energy and matter, but yeah, like, everything is everything. Like, the universe is a finite amount of stuff in a potentially infinite space.
Which is horrifying as well.
But we don't know yet.
Like, there's going to be a day that some creature wakes up on this planet and there will be no stars in the sky. And that's...
I mean, the Earth would be long gone by then, but yeah.
It's just weird, man. I don't know. It's all weird.
See,
and
the
fact that we exist, that our matter and energy fell together into whatever the fuck this is, and it just so happened to do that out of the whole big fucking universe.
Mm-hmm.
It happened to do that here and go, oh look, we could make some life out of this. We'll turn it into a living thing. Oh, and it'll be human too. We'll make it one of the hairless monkeys. Oh, and we'll put it here at this time in space-time. The fact that I happen to be alive when ska is a thing, right? Like, is it that it's amazing because I'm alive while it's happening, or is it that I happen to be here while this amazing thing is happening? I don't know.
And I think both of those things are true.
If a ska band shows up in the woods and nobody's there to hear it, are they still making ska? Are they still skanking in the woods alone?
If a ska band's playing music in the woods and there's no one to skank to it, is it really ska?
Is it still ska? Is it God that got the extra chicken nugget, the extra cheese stick, and is like, yeah, we're gonna have ska now.
And why is it Operation Ivy's fault?
Somehow Tim Armstrong is involved.
It's always Tim Anderson's fault.
That fucking Tim Anderson.
Because I could never say there is there's bound to be there's another universe somewhere where Tim Anderson is the guy from Operation Ivy.
It's one of those what is it, like the Bernstein
it's like
Bears?
the worst kind of Mandela effect.
There we go.
Thing.
In some other universe, it was Tim Anderson.
It was Tim Anderson.
In the
Why
Matrix,
I always want to call him Tim Anderson.
in that world, the Matrix, the main character in the Matrix is Mr. Armstrong.
Mr. Armstrong. Oh,
those
like my cable company here is like my internet provider is literally Armstrong Cable. I should be able to remember it's Tim Armstrong, not Tim Anderson.
It's just remember, whenever you think of ska, think of the fact that there is no ska in September. That's all you have to remember. No ska September. Because what happens at the end of September? Who do we wake up at the end of September?
Okay.
At the end of September, somebody's got to go wake up Billy Joe. And what's his last
Somebody's
name?
got to wake up Billy Joe Anderson.
Billy Joe Anderson. Enjoy your food,
Okay,
Mr.
I need a break.
Acid
I
Dragon.
need a break.
All right.
We'll be back. I
do.
need a break.
Me as well.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. Hurts.
Next, we should talk about something not as painful. In the
When
brain.
while we're gone, say something in chat that will make my brain not hurt. Like this.
So chat brain bleach is what you're looking for.
Yes, we need some brain bleach. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll be right back. With no more pills. No more pills. It's too many pills. What the fuck's going on anymore?
Put your slippers on. You'll feel better.
Okay, I do need my slippers on. All right, we'll be right back. are back. Reaper sent an email, and Barlazy's reminding me that I have not finished a piece of art that I started on stream a little while back. How about this? Next week, you're not here next week, right?
I am not here next week. I am doing a thing with music and noises
Ooh.
and more math.
You are not here.
Everything is math.
So next Friday we will work on art again. How about that? That sounds like a plan to me.
Yay, art.
So there are emails. There are a couple emails from
Oh, there are?
from Reaper. There was one.
Oh,
that
yeah, there was
came
the
in
one
right after the last
Yes.
stream. Hey, come here. Anyone up here?
There was the one that came in right after the last stream. Let me find that one.
Also, I finally had good Mexican food here in Kansas City. It's called Haracho. Haracho?
Okay. There it is. Okay. Shower thoughts. Which I don't really like the idea of thinking of Reaper in the shower. Okay. Here we go.
Too late.
Stupid microphone with the moving and the things. Okay.
Microphone. Hold
When most people think of a black hole, they think of a black sphere that absorbs light. But that's not really the black hole. That is just the shadow on time-space by a singularity. That would be like when you say a car. You think of the shadow it casts, or maybe better, instead of calling a car, you call it fast or go. The black sphere is just the side affect. Just some of the shower thoughts when I'm drunk. Sent from Mail for Windows.
Wow, somebody actually uses mail for Windows? Holy shit. That might be the most amazing thing about this email. Yeah. Yes, you are looking at the remnants of a black hole. You're looking at the
Actually, funny story. One of my YouTubers recently put out a book about why black holes are neither black nor holes.
I mean, kind of the opposite of a hole. Right?
Dr. Becky.
I was
Black
thinking
hole
of it
book.
as a shadow. Shadowies.
So if you are interested in a book about
About
well, it was a really squirrely Amazon link. I'm gonna try to make a better one. Let's try that. And so if I do that, will that take it? No, that doesn't take it there. Amazon links are weird. Let's try that one. All right, that gets there. There. If you're interested, she's a physics person who does physics things.
Brief history of black holes and why nearly everything you know about them is wrong. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, so there you go.
Okay.
If you're curious.
Cool. I've totally forgot. As an aside, we were talking about microphones last week.
Oh.
And
yeah,
because of that, I started getting videos on my YouTube about microphones, specifically some of the microphones we were talking about, the SM7B.
Well, that makes sense. We were Googling them.
Yeah. So I was getting specifically SM7B and what's the other one? 58. Right? 58's the vocal one, right?
Yeah, the SM58.
Okay. So come to find out. So this SM58 you can get for like $100.
I mean, I haven't read that one, Barlazy. It literally just came out. And I'm probably not going to order it. It just happened to, yeah. So it's I wouldn't say I'm recommending it so much as it's a book I'm aware of.
It is a thing that has happened that he is now sharing with
Yeah.
you. So as in 58, you can get for about $100, brand new. You can get one for
Right.
$100.
Yep, brand new, $100. That's pretty much standard.
SM7B is about $400, brand new. They're both dynamic microphones.
Yep.
They both have capsules based off of the same design.
Which makes sense. Sure's pretty much been rocking that same capsule forever.
The only real difference is a capacitor that exists inside the 58. And
That doesn't exist in the SM7B?
right, which is why the SM7B is notorious for having to have a lot of extra gain. Anywhere that you look, that's one of the main things that they talk about with the 7B is that you have to manually
Yeah, you have to
give it
crank the
shit
living.
because
Yeah.
it doesn't have that extra chunk of capacitor crap. So there's all of these videos out there that are like, so you want an SM or you want a 7B, right? You don't want to spend $400. Here's what you do:
Take out the capacitor.
you take out the capacitor and you replace the screen, the pop filter screen that's on it, with something that forces your mouth to be further away from it, and you can you can go listen to videos. The difference between the sound of those two microphones after that's done, so this close,
Well,
close.
Because I've known forever that you could bait. What is this? I've been given a drink.
Oh!
I know it doesn't have alcohol in it because we don't have any in the house.
It looks fancy though. She put the LSD in it.
It might be. Whee! No, I mean it tastes like a fizzy drink.
It looked super fancy with the wood lid and the straw and stuff. I like it.
Yeah. Mason jar.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've known about the if you basically just unscrew the grill and windscreen from a 58, it turns into a 57.
Yeah. That was like one of the videos was like, if you want to do this on the super cheap, here's what you do: take the screen off, and you can go download or buy. It's like it's an SM7B fake filter that you can put on a 58 that like just forces your mouth to be further away from it. And they're like, you can do that, and here's what it sounds like, and it sounds pretty good. Or you can do that and just go in and take this chunk of electronics out,
Cut that one capacitor out.
Yeah.
And
you can barely tell the difference. So I kind of want to buy a 58 now.
A 58 and try it.
I kind of want a 58 anyway, just because I've never had a 58.
I mean, it's good. It's good to have a 58. Like, I need to one of these days, like when I have like actual income from this, because most of the gear I bought, like, I buy it off of money that I've like made with the gear.
Right.
So like, so it's not like
It's
how
we justify.
I'm confident that I have broken even on the stuff that I have purchased.
Right. It's how we justify paying stupid amounts of money for shit that sits on shelves.
But like, I want to get a 57 because I don't have a 57. I want to get. I probably should get like a couple 57s if I'm being honest. I want to get one of the SE V7 mics that are supposed to be amazing. And then like there's a couple other like microphones that I want that, and then like I'm mostly good. On like that kind of microphones.
Yeah.
And like I want to upgrade my drum mics eventually, but that's a whole different thing.
The cool thing is, like with drum mics, you can buy kits that are like, here, give us $400 and we will give you all of them, and you never have to buy a drum mic again.
Yeah, because I want to get
except overheads.
I want to swap over to like the Audio Technica Tom mics from I've got the Audix Tom mics now, and they're like, the Audix stuff sounds really good on badly tuned drums, which was mostly what I was miking.
Right.
So like, but like I know how to tune my drums. So like for better tuned drums, I want something that's a little less like chop out the mid range.
Right.
But that's just like a matter of doing it as money happens.
My next purchase is speakers.
Oh, you want to get some good like actual studio monitors?
Yeah, it's time. It's
Get
time
away
to do
from
it.
get away from the Logitechs.
I love these Logitechs so much, but it's time.
Yes, Reaper, you just hit them with sticks.
You do. Okay.
Uh,
Oh yay! Excuse me.
Just Seder, the audio out. Pastor Recoil rages at grammar.
I mean, that's pretty much what we do. Right?
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna yeah, okay. Good morning, me paisanos. No clue, just remembered it from the Super Mario Power Hour show. So a few things to talk about. Don't worry, Pastor, not as much as last a week. First,
Sure.
have you heard about Logan Paul speaking out about Andrew Tate? That is what I will be calling him from now on.
Okay. I kind of read some of this before the show, before it started
I saw it
streaming.
on Philip DeFranco.
Yeah. But I got to the Andrew Tate part, and I'm not gonna lie, Andrew Tate does not exist anymore. There is only Andrew Tate.
That's fair.
I was
The
a
other
little
drummer joke I really like, Barlazy, is did you hear about the guitarist that locked his keys in his car? It took him 2 hours to get the drummer out. So anyway, how far do you have to be for Logan Paul to say, dude, you're being an
asshole.
I honestly can't tell if Logan is an
Oh.
but has limits. Or if him saying how toxic Taint is just a PR move and doesn't really bavel what he's saying. Wait, is that a 1 or an L? Hold on. It actually could go either way. I'm going to guess that's an L. So would like to give him the benefit of a doubt. But it's Logan Paul. Now, I'd like to point out that like the way he wrote that is Logan Paul belongs to butt.
Yes. It is the butt's Logan Paul.
It is but it's Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
So I do agree that the more has talked about even negatively, the more Taint gets Audi it.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Okay, so yes, I saw that Logan Paul, to answer the question, I saw that Logan Paul spoke out about Andrew Tate. And it is the first and probably last time in my life, like I had to do have an introspective moment, you know, when you have to sit down and
One of those when like you agree with someone and you're not sure that like
yeah,
yeah.
because I was like, I agree with everything that Logan Paul is saying right now, and that's horrifying to me. Because I guess his brother was like, I want to fight Andrew Tate, and Logan was like, no, you don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sosa, there was a news story about how in the Colorado State Fair, a GUI
Graphic user interface.
won the digital art competition with an image made from Midjourney.
I'm sorry, what was that? What was that last bit again?
and people are not happy. There's a lot of dots there.
There
I'm
are
sorry.
a lot of dots.
A lot of dots.
He is the one who filmed a
More
dead body in
dots.
Japan.
Yeah. There are people claiming that with thus art is dead. My view on it is that using AI to make an image should be its own category in an art competition. Someone pointed out that it's a lot like poetry, which I get and agree. And with playing around with Midjourney on Discord, it does talk some workle to get the image you are imagining. There we go. I don't think, though, that it should go up again digital painting, though. I view AI artwork just like digital art programs when they first came out. It's art, but a different category than traditional painting. I honestly don't know how I feel about one comment that it's no different than photography, since all you are doing is pointing through camera and pushing a button. In a way, it Kyunga is alike. Would like to hear your thoughts.
I think whoever said it was like that photography is just pointing your camera and pushing a button has never tried photography before.
I think if I remember right, like this was not like he was not trying to be sneaky about it.
Right.
Like he never like went out of his way to like hide that it was AI art.
Right.
And
he did it specifically to bring this conversation into the forefront.
Right. So so there's like I agree with you that it should be like a different kind of art. Not like any different from another. Where my main issue with the AI art, especially with like Midjourney, is their licensing is a lot.
It's better than I thought it was.
But
as long as you're paying. As long as you're paying money, it's okay ish. But
right, but it's still from like the art side of things, like I think it's cool. Like I think it is just a different medium to do art.
Visual poetry. I don't know if I agree with poetry correlating to AI art.
There is a so here's what I would be curious about. I'm curious about repeatability. Like if you give the AI like the same prompt 3 times in a row, what kind of thing are you going to get out?
Very different things.
It is okay.
Yeah, I've tried that
since I just have
I've tried it with Dolly, and you get different stuff. Even if you're like super hyper specific, every time you put it in, like it's actively learning from everybody's input.
Oh, okay.
So
I wonder, like, because it's really, this is just an extension of like Photoshop's like smart background erase thing, right? Like where's the line between those things?
What I'm interested in is that AI. See, this is where it gets complicated. So AI has to be trained on stuff, right? And it's apparent if you screw around with Midjourney long enough, or Dolly, like you can tell that Midjourney was trained on a very different style of art than Dolly was.
Oh yeah.
So it not only is knowing the correct prompt, but it's also knowing the correct AI. Like, because Dolly and Midjourney are the big ones right now, but there are hundreds out there
there's
right now.
A ton of them. Well, like how many other ones that like make people's faces? Like,
right.
It's so I think there is a like it is absolutely art.
Right.
Now if it's, I do think that there's going to need to be, like, in art competitions like at state fairs, there's going to be like need to be something in the rules about, like, because I do not think it's fair for, like, the artist's input to be a sentence and some clicks versus like there's something that feels different there.
Right.
But like, but at the same time, they used to say that about drum machines and synthesizers too.
Right. And I think I think like we're nowhere near what AI generated imagery is going to be. I don't think it fits in the same category with traditional art or even digital art. But we get back to that. We get back to that. It's an argument about the ends versus the means, right?
Yeah.
Do the means change the end? If the end goal is to look at a piece of art that makes you feel emotion, some of that shit that Midjourney does is like stunning. It is stunning.
Yeah. But it's also like, it is at the same time absolutely stunning artwork and yet not quite right.
Right. I mean, I
Like
enjoy I enjoy that.
Passerk.
I enjoy that we're at a place where it's beautifully disturbing, right? It's like the uncanny valley of art right now.
Yes, it is solidly sitting in uncanny valley. Which is like, I think works, especially in the style that Midjourney tends to make.
Right. You'll find old paintings where the poses of the people or the background is almost identical to a lesser known painting. Yeah. It does favor reds and blues for sure. And it favors an art style. You can tell that it was trained on like concept art.
Yeah.
It's very concept arty, which is, and classic. You can get a lot of classical feel to it.
I get some like, there's some Geiger vibe that goes on in there, like,
you can pull some, yeah. It's interesting.
Speaking of Midjourney.
Oh god. Oh god.
I'm so sorry. I love this so zero 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 much. It's okay. No, it's okay. Hi.
You've upset the dog.
I have upset the puppy dog. It's okay, baby. It's all Reaper's fault.
Damn you, Reaper.
I'm sorry, baby girl. Come here. Get cuddles. Oh, poor baby.
No. We need love.
She did not like that.
That's fair. I didn't either.
Much, and having a blast with it, as I'm sure you see my spamming the art channel with it.
There's a lot of art in our art channel now.
I went with the unlimited plan so I can make as many as I want, or until you tell me to go to a different channel to stop spamming. But people totally should not send me DMs or put in the channel prompts that they would like done in Midjourney for me to do for them, because that would be against the toss, and that is really bad. Really.
Yeah.
Totally.
One thing I'm really interested about with all the AI art is right now we're seeing a lot of people generating art from AI and posting it all online, right? There's just bajillion images of generated AI art being posted right now. I'm interested to see in 6 months to a year how these AIs affect other artists, like actual traditional and
That's
digital
going to be
artists.
interesting.
That's going to be crazy. I'm excited to see what really good digital artists do with something like Midjourney, because taking what you can kind of see in Midjourney beyond the valley of the dolls,
beyond the AI.
once people actually start pulling that out and forming stuff out of it, it's going to be amazing. There's going to be so much amazing art.
There were a couple images that, like, I just absolutely loved.
Yeah.
Like, they were fantastic. Well, I mean, one of them was Pastor.
Yeah. I mean, there's some in there that I definitely, with Reaper's permission, would love to play with, like, on stream. See if I can do that. See if I can pull the image that's in my head out of the AI-ness of it.
Yeah.
Because I think there's some really cool images right beyond the AI.
All right.
Well, thank you. Maybe next Friday we will do that.
I am finding it immensely entertaining watching how the WHO document raid on former President Orange McTinyhands is going. I find it hilarious that the GOP keeps having the floor cut out from under them on this, with each complaint be countered. I love how this just keeps getting worse and worse for layer.
I got lost. Hold on. Where are we at?
Third paragraph, maybe?
Liar, pussy grabber. I was looking for the dirty word.
Honestly, I don't really expect anything to come out of it. I would love for charges or whatever, but with how politically charged Trump is, I'm sure it will get dropped for fear of his followers rioting. If the GOP doesn't find a way to kill it, God, I hate our government so much. I do find that predictions, the Democrats not being as screwed at the midterms interesting, though since 2016, I don't trust Paul's Paramore.
I don't trust Paramore either.
There's two things that I find really interesting about this. The first of which is, had he not tweeted about it, we never would have known.
Yeah. This is
only reason this is a thing is well, not tweeted, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, he's the one that told us this was happening. The DOG was trying to do it quiet.
He Streisanded himself, right? Wasn't it Barbara Streisand? Right. Streisand effects.
Yeah. Yep. The second thing is, it's been interesting watching the quality of his lawyers decrease over the past 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, the quality of his lawyers definitely seems to, like, they filed a motion with this one judge, and the judge was basically like, all right, step one, what are you even talking about? Step two, why did you file this with me? Like, why didn't you file this with the judge that, like, signed the warrant?
Yeah. And I keep just randomly seeing these news articles that are like, Trump's entire lawyer team quit last night, so he's hiring all new people, and that's happened like 6 or 7 times now.
Yep.
He's just like tearing through lawyers.
So while it may get his followers to vote for him, former President Cancer in the White House, promised that he will pardon and have the government apologize to anyone who was arrested for January 6th. If he is reelected, will probably hurt his chances. There are a lot of people who aren't happy with it. A lot of Republicans too, and I think that will be something that will push anyone not diehard Trump further away. It is really interesting that he has I mean, one, his candidates that he's endorsing tend to be doing worse. They're getting elected in the primary because like there is a rabid portion of like there's enough people who are rabid Trump followers that they will like just vote for anyone he endorses. But that number isn't like, but that what that means is that any like viable Republican candidates tend to like lose in the primary,
Right.
because like the vote among them gets so spread out. I mean, in a lot of ways, that's the same thing that happened in the Republican primary where he won. Like there were so many people that like got on the Trump train that it ended up like, but there were then like the people who were for like Rubio or Cruz or any of the like more normal candidates, like it just the numbers were different. But then like, I mean, look at Pennsylvania's race. Like John Fetterman, his Twitter and TikTok game has like become national news,
Right.
because like
And Alaska.
Pennsylvania's are not about the first indigenous
First
woman
indigenous
to be
and
elected to,
first Democrat in 50 years. And first time that they've used ranked choice voting, which
right,
I thought
haven't
was
taken the
hilarious.
ranked choice voting.
I'm down. Like, roll that shit out now. Across the board, everything.
Anyways, I'll let Yopa guys go.
You're gonna let us go?
Look for you a pastor. Sent from Mail for Windows.
Wow. Message clipped. View entire message.
Oh, what?
I don't want
clipped?
to. It clips some white off the bottom.
Apparently.
Well, thank you. For that.
You're
Reaper.
not. No, I do not thank you for that.
The
Reaper.
dog does not thank you for that.
The dog. I'm gonna have to like give her extra cuddles tonight because of
Yes,
you.
She gets extra treats.
She is not
So-
happy.
So saith the satyr, so saith the flock.
Okay. So saith the satyr. So okay.
Sooth saith the satyr.
Soothsayer.
Vermont first woman.
Vermont
and-
had a-
Oh wow! And first
Nice.
LGBTQ candidate. Interesting.
I'm just cranky that there isn't a Pennsylvania Socialist Party.
There isn't a Kentucky Socialist Party either.
Like I would.
See, we should start this. Like, what? How hard is it to start a political party? I've joked about it, but like for real.
Well, the trouble is you have to do it like state by state. It's annoying.
I mean, that's true. And we wouldn't be able to call it like a socialist party, right? Like that would never fly. It needs to be
they
like
exist in different states.
the neo left or something,
The
right?
alt-left.
The alt left. Ooh, I actually like the ring of that. Let's start the alt left.
See if there's a. Hold on.
The alt left party. Oh. Is it a thing?
Oh, it's just a whole bunch of stuff about how the alt left's a problem too. Okay, sure, whatever.
No, it's not though. The myth of the alt left.
That sounds more like it.
Yeah. It's all stupid. Pastor Seder 2024.
Our Lord and
Lord and Seder. And Seder.
Oh man.
I like it. I'm
So-
down. I'm
It
down.
was a trip, like again, working on my paper and like trying to describe this in academic language
Yeah.
was
That had
weird.
to be weird. I would like can you post these like on the Discord or something? I would love to read them.
Once, yeah, when I turn it in, I'll post it on the Discord. It's interesting. I anonymize a couple people because like their usernames are relatively identifiable, but Reaper Your username is your anonymizing.
Wow. So Reaper,
'Cause
Damon Reaper.
is in an academic paper that I am turning in for my doctorate.
That's fascinating.
And the words "I love everyone but Reaper" are recorded for posterity.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, once I turn it in, I'll post it on the Discord once it's like actually done.
Oh man. Oh, when's it gonna be? How far out is this? I'm excited.
So it has to be turned in by the 10th. So
Oh, wow.
no later than the 10th will it be up on the Discord for you.
Wow. That's okay.
It's mostly done. Like
How
Actually,
are
it
you
was-
laughing
well,
while writing that?
I had-
How hard were you laughing?
I had Mrs. Pastor read it over and she just started cackling at a couple parts because it's like because I'm supposed to like write a description of what is this thing that I'm using. And I say the stream begins as it usually does with audio issues.
I mean, 9 times out of 10,
Yeah.
that is a thing.
Oh man, Andrew Yang's new party is. Did you see the interview where he was on something? They asked him like a direct question about abortion, and he's like, "Well, it's all about what the people want." It's like, okay, so what is the party platform then? What the people want?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
I was excited for a minute because when Andrew Yang was running, I thought his platform was pretty good.
Yeah, and then I don't know what happened, but
I don't either, but that whatever his party is doing now, like he can have those people that believe that shit, they can go throw their votes away. That's fine. We don't want them participating with the rest of us adults.
It is kind of nice though to live in a state where my vote actually matters.
Yeah, fuck you.
A little terrifying, but it's kind of nice.
My vote will never matter. Although I'm canceling out someone whose vote is voting along party lines. So
Yeah.
I guess that helps somehow.
When I lived in Utah, like I just got in the habit of voting for third party candidates to bump their numbers to help them with funding.
Yeah.
Because it didn't matter.
It's interesting being in a liberal city in a very conservative state, because like I can't throw away my local votes because
the local votes are super important.
Right.
Yeah,
but and I don't want to throw away like my big votes. I don't know, it's just I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you research a little bit, you can kind of like tell which ones are going to be close and which ones are going to be a throwaway.
Right. Yeah.
Like if it's somebody who's like won by 10 points for the past 20 years, that's a throwaway.
Yeah, that's fair.
Although always vote against Mitch McConnell.
Oh yeah.
Just always.
Yeah, there's no God, I can't wait for him to get voted out or die or something. Someone else, anyone else. We actually have a really good candidate this time around. So there's
nice.
Here's hoping one of those two assholes gets voted out.
Oh yeah, because you got the other one too. That like
it's like the Wonder Twins.
like I honestly don't know which one's worse.
Mitch McConnell's worse. Because I think even the other Republicans look at the other guy and go, "Dude, you're fucking crazy."
Yeah.
Nobody listens.
Because his dad was an independent. Like,
well, his dad was like the founder of that weird thing. What was it called? The Libertarians. He was like super libertarian.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna take the Libertarian Party to the presidency. And 30 years later, he's like, I'm still running for president.
Yep. Yeah. Ron Paul.
My grandparents lived in Western Nebraska.
Wait, he's still alive?
Yeah. My grandparents lived in western Nebraska and would get angry during elections if the state was called after Lincoln and Omaha were counted. They said our votes only count in local elections. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember Ross Perot.
I remember
Yeah.
Ross Perot because one of my really close friends worked on his campaign.
Ross Perot was a big chunk of the reason why Clinton got elected.
So weird, man. So weird.
I one thing I appreciate about Nebraska is that they do that thing where like basically Lincoln and Omaha's Democrat vote counts and then the rest of the state goes Republican.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, our whole system is broken. It's so broken.
It was a really good idea in like 1790 when like you just couldn't like fly places.
Yeah. That's
It's just
fair.
not it's not so much a good idea now.
Like, are we getting to the point where we have the technology that we can just digitize all this? We have to be close, right?
I mean, we are close. Like one I always think it's so funny whenever like mail-in ballots come up because Utah has been doing universal vote by mail for like 15 years
Yeah.
and never had any issues.
Well, I find it funny because like we did the universal mail-in stuff during the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're talking about not doing it again. And it was like, but it worked.
No, but that's why Trump wasn't elected.
But
Mail-in votes.
but that was not a Trump election year. That
Nope.
had nothing to do with him. And most of the people who got elected here were Republicans.
Oh wait,
Yeah, I don't know. People are weird. It is what it is, I guess.
yeah.
I don't know.
Should
what
we
are-
just call it an early night?
We
I don't know
can.
what's happening?
What are your plans for the weekend, man? Got anything going on? What about you,
this
chat? What are
weekend-
y'all doing?
This weekend's actually relaxing because next weekend's a little crazy.
What exactly is going on next weekend?
So, the town that the church is in has their like arts festival, which
Oh.
is, kind of that end of summer, beginning of fall, whole town goes crazy, like generic small town event, right?
Right.
The church kind of fell backwards into hosting a couple concerts over the weekend,
Weird.
like just like local, couple local bands that are doing stuff.
Like at your church?
Yeah, like in the lawn next to the church.
Okay.
It wouldn't have happened except that I was like I do have like basically I started asking questions of like, okay, so what are we gonna do about this? What are we gonna do about this? What are we gonna do about this? And then like ended up just kind of falling backwards into it happening. I'm hoping it goes well. Like I hope people show up. But it's also kind of like just music to have going while people are like going to the event.
Yeah. That's fair.
But it just makes for a couple long days.
Okay, hold on.
Those always do.
For lazy, yes, you can bring up the student loan debt forgiveness. And why does your wife not qualify?
Do y'all make too much money?
That seems improbable.
Yeah,
Because it's 250,000, right?
that's what I thought.
So I know that it's $20,000
Or did
for
she
Pell
not?
Grants.
Yeah, there's something like federal, like there was something like weird with it.
She consolidated.
Oh,
Has she been paying
So it's-
her loans through the pandemic? Like when the payments weren't a thing? Oh, another company owns it.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's
I mean, she should
stupid.
still fill the thing out. I would still fill the thing out because they're
I mean,
still
yeah,
trying to figure
the
all this
worst
shit
that
out.
the worst that. Well, did you hear like all the states that would count it as income?
Yes. There's like 3 so far that are going to tax all of it. And then there's more like lining up trying to get the shit written out so that they can tax
Well,
it too.
well, and there's a couple. There are a couple states though that are like trying to fix their laws real quick so that they don't tax it.
Right. I I just I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
like it's yeah, because that's. And I'm thinking like we paid off Mrs. Pastor's student loans by refinancing the house. So like because we just like refined the house and then just rolled her loans into the house.
Right.
So hers wouldn't count either because the student loan parts of it were like done, but the even though the money wasn't done.
Right. I mean, it sucks. It sucks, but at the same time, like nothing changed, right? Like your situation didn't change at all. It sucks that it didn't change, but at least it didn't get
Right.
worse, right? It could have gotten worse. So at least it didn't get worse.
Yeah, but that still does suck
It
though.
does suck. And I would 100% still fill the paperwork out. Never.
Yeah, like it. The
Okay.
worst thing that happens
Yeah,
is they say,
because
yeah, you don't
supposedly if
qualify.
you kept paying through COVID when you didn't have to, you'll get all of that reimbursed. So maybe you'll at least get that.
Mm. Hmm.
I don't know. Surely they're doing something with people who did that, right?
Someone from Texas cast an electoral vote for Ron Paul in the 2016 election, making him the oldest person to receive an electoral college vote.
How does the electoral college still matter when people are able to do shit like that? Like how?
Well, because they always were able to do that because you would like you weren't electing the president, you were electing the person who was going to elect the
No, I
president.
know. But when someone can very obviously throw a vote like that away to a candidate that's not even running, how have we not like said, okay, this is bad? I had mine paid off
Because
like a year after, but I worked my ass off during college, and now I have anxiety.
because it's because God spoke the words of the United States Constitution
Oh, right.
directly.
No, I thought
It's
you had to.
God
You
and the
had
King James Bible.
you had to have magic glasses, and you read them off of tablets that came from heaven, right?
No, 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 that's a different one.
Oh,
Different
okay.
story.
Those were the tablets that Moses brought down from the mountain, where was the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, right?
No, just the Second Amendment.
Just the Second
Never
Amendment,
mind the
right?
rest of them.
Sorry. My
Oh yeah,
experience with
unemployment is not fun.
yeah, I was on unemployment for a year, 14 months during all of the and like the whole system is fucked.
Oh yeah. That's why we just need to go with UBI.
Yeah, I do think like are we not there yet?
I
Are we
mean,
not there yet?
it would like honestly, it would save so much money because you like all of the welfare programs would go away.
Yep. It's impossible to explain that to people though. I was trying to explain to someone the other day that giving homeless people homes is cheaper than not giving them homes. And they were like,
Yes.
"What?" And I'm like, "Just
Yep.
we have homes. Just give them a
Well, we don't.
house."
That's
We do
don't
though.
though.
We do though.
I mean, we do, but we don't. We
Like
have the wrong kind of homes.
what 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 are the wrong kind of homes? We have
There are a,
we have single
there
family
are a ton
dwelling.
of single there are a ton of single family homes in places that no one can afford to live, but there are not enough homes in places where people can otherwise afford to live.
I mean, that's just where we're at right now because the market is in a gigantic bubble and we're all about to watch it collapse again.
And it is slowly collapsing. It's been kind of nice to like
Yeah.
have to be buying a house right now
I mean,
and watching more and more homes be like price decrease. Price
especially
decrease.
because you sold yours when you did. You
Right,
literally did the
right.
thing that I've been telling people they need to do. Like, sell your house now and then wait a little while and buy one in a couple years.
Yeah, I was actually looking at trends and it's like it's starting to hey, you took your band-aid off.
Yeah, that one keeps falling off. I think I might take them all off.
Like it's starting to like level off at like where it should have been. If that makes sense.
Yeah. How are they so worried about people gaining the system if they make it so complicated? Right. Because in their mind, if there is a way that you are getting something from the system at all, then there's a way to game the system. I need 2 seconds. I've just got to get something off the back of that door.
I'll be here then.
Okay.
So how you doing, chat? Now that Seder is causing me to wonder many things. Y'all doing all right over there? Chilling? Like chilling? Shooting some b-ball outside of the school when a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble
Trouble in my
the
neighborhood. Sorry, I needed my tattoo cream.
Oh, that's important.
Because I'm definitely taking these off. I'm entering the itchy phase.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's do you know when that's super fun? When
you
you're
can't scratch it.
when it's on your back.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
It's super fun when it's on your back.
I was surprised. I thought it was gonna hurt a lot more than it did.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that is a weird feeling that I'd forgotten about. Because it feels like the tattoo artist put it. She said, I heard another tattoo artist put it this way, and I told him I was going to steal it. And I have always said, from that point forward, tattoos feel like wet fire. And I was like, yeah, no, that makes sense. It feels like fire, but also wet at the same time.
The way that my artist tried to that looks dope.
And I got the ejects.
The way my artist described it was like someone was like drawing a line on you real hard with a ballpoint pen, only shaky.
Right, only vibrating at the same time. This felt like when you're cooking with grease and it splashes on you, and it's just that for.
Oh yeah,
An
right,
hour.
right there on the knuckle.
Which was awful. But then at the same time, like as soon as she stopped the tattoo, it stopped. And I was like, oh, well, I'm used to grease pains where
Oh yeah.
it lasts for 3 days.
Okay.
There's
Nice.
one. Haha.
So what's on that thumb?
Nothing yet.
Oh, okay.
I have not decided what to put there yet. Ta-da!
Obviously it needs to be the fifth one.
I mean, okay. I was going to, but do you know what the next one is?
Aside from Mila Jovovich?
Well, yeah. I mean, she goes here, right? I was actually thinking about getting the 4.
Getting multipass?
Yeah. But in alchemy, this is the 4, right? So it's water, and then out of water comes earth, and then above the earth is air, and then above the air is the sun, which is fire. The next one, like the 5th element, is aether.
Yeah, which
know-
may or may not be an element. There's a lot of debate about that
Right.
one.
But do you know what the emblem for aether is?
Not great.
It's these two, it's the 2 on the ends overlapping. Do you know what that is?
Oh, yeah, you can't get that one. You can't get that one.
I can't have that.
You cannot have that one.
That would be a lot to explain to people.
That would no, you don't get that one.
It'd be like, why do you have the Star of
And a
David?
good tattoo artist would not let you get that one.
Right. They would be like, hold on a second. Why are you wanting this again?
Yeah. There should be questions asked about that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like there is a like one of the ancient symbols of my heritage as a Pole from the highlands of Poland is dead now. I can never use it
Which
on anything ever.
which one is that?
I mean, it's a swastika.
Oh.
Like it is like an ancient symbol of my heritage.
I always associate that with Hindi stuff.
It's everywhere. Like it is literally.
I mean,
like
there's houses here.
everywhere.
There's like houses out here that have swastikas above the door. And when I first moved here, I was like, "Holy shit, the racists here
like
are
I think it's
fucking
a
out
Native
loud."
American thing too.
Yeah, I didn't know. They're like, no, that has nothing to do with the swastika that you're thinking of. That's like an old religious thing. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like,
I
it
had
is
no
just an old
idea.
religious thing. It's just dead now.
Right.
It is only that.
Like
Like
in 2022, if you haven't taken the swastika down off your house, you're probably
Yeah.
fucking racist. I don't care if it's a religious thing. You're probably fucking racist.
you put something over that.
Yeah,
Like,
you take it. You do something. You don't leave that up. You don't get to do that. It has been ruined.
Yep.
Well, it's like the Iron Cross. It got ruined too.
yeah.
It's another one.
That one's still like there are a handful of contexts where it's not ruined, but it like anything like vaguely military, it's ruined.
Yeah, and it's like there's a Celtic emblem that's like it's 3 sevens sort of looking thing. It's a circle, but it's like 3 sevens
Oh,
pointing.
yeah.
And that's not a thing anymore either. That doesn't exist. It's as
Like
dead as my
the
love
one
life.
coat of arms with the legs, like the legs that make a circle. That's kind of creepy, actually.
Oh yeah, those.
Um, there's a graphic designer on TikTok that always brings up it's the DAST test. For everything that you got to do the DAST to it.
Yep, it is important because people don't do it, and
No,
there are things out there that really should not be out there because they don't pass.
There was an image that was on a bulletin one Sunday that when you look at it right side up, it just looks like fire, and it's fine. It just looks
Right.
like fire. Turn it upside down, and it is female anatomy. Turn that thing upside down, and that is just
What are the other two? It's a dick, something, swastika, and something.
it's just the dick and swastika test.
Oh, okay.
Like
Okay.
DAST dick. Yeah.
I was like, I thought there were 2 more, but
Well, and then it's always good to look for like it's just in general, like you want to try to avoid religious symbols unless it's a religious organization.
Right.
Like
And-
yes, it looked like a Georgia O'Keeffe painting.
and the group of things that will never set right with me are any logo that has an adult figure and a child figure in it together. They never look right. There is no way. There is no way to put a representation of a child and a representation of an adult together where it doesn't look like sexual assault.
Did you see the one I sent you? It's like it's clip art of I think I sent it to the Discord. The clip art of like Jesus healing the woman who was bent over.
Yeah.
And
No, we don't want to do that.
yeah.
We don't want to do that.
There's a lot of like Jesus stuff that ends up just looking inappropriate because like they don't do those tests.
One of my favorite is it's a little kid. It's so bad. It's a little kid on his knees praying, and Jesus kind of with his hand up to the heavens and his other hand on the kid's head, like he's praying.
Mm-hmm.
Except they, of course, show it from behind the child, so it looks like the little kid's giving him head. And it's like, out of all of the things you could have done, you had so many other options.
You had to, like, if you had just done a side view,
Yeah.
it would have been fine.
Yeah, that's literally all it would have taken was just
Literally,
do it this way.
literally, like, even just like, not even a 3/4 view, like,
Yeah, just enough.
just a little bit,
to show the space between. You gotta have enough space for Jesus between the two of them.
Gotta make room for the Holy Spirit between them.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, and it should be like I understand that when you're drawing these stuff, like, these things accidentally happen. Like,
Right.
one of my Minecraft YouTubers I watched, like, was just building something and it accidentally was a swastika. And like
Yeah.
the next episode, he's like, I'm really sorry. Like, that was totally, like, it just happened. It's fixed now.
Right.
Like,
Those are the art you'd see at a Christian book. That's the weird thing.
oh yeah.
Is it's always in places where, like, if you were to even giggle about it, they would be mad at you. And it's
Right.
like, but
Like,
look
how
at all the
dare you
pictures.
think that? How dare you make the art like that?
Right. Why do you have pictures of little kids giving Jesus a blowjob? That is not on me.
That is a you problem.
That is definitely a you problem, not me at all.
No, and some of that is just like Christians are just not aware. Like, they're very not self-aware.
Yeah. I
Like-
also think Christians have there's the Christians that people are every day, and then the Christians people want to be every day, right? Very, very few
Right.
times does that actually overlap. And a lot of times, the Christians that they actually are every day will only do that around people. They'll only be vocal about that person around people that they trust, right? Just like racists. They'll only be super
Right.
racist around people that they trust.
Except racists. Yeah. It's that white people, like that.
Well, right.
The white man thing.
It's
of
because
like
white men
every
trust
other white man
other
thinks
white men.
like
Yeah.
me.
But it's a trust thing. White men trust other white men, right? Because they're like, we got to stick together, right? It's like, they do that to me, and I'm like, you are barking up the wrong tree, buddy.
Oh my gosh. I got an email the other day that like
God.
had me and everyone in the office just cackling. I need to find it because I'm gonna have to read it because it's so much. Was it from last week? I think it was from last week. I'm gonna find this. Where would it be? Oh, here we go. Here it is. A certain pastor would like to invite me to a meeting
Oh.
regarding how the church can become more involved in local school boards. It's like, okay, sure, whatever. 2, critical race theory. And 3, the use of the pronouns they, them versus he, she. And I replied back to my office manager, I am mostly confident that pastor would not like what I have to say about any of that.
Yeah.
But when he sets up the meeting, if I'm feeling like I hate myself that day, I might just attend.
It would be interesting. You have to admit. Because you know that it's going to be we need to get together and talk about these evil,
These
woke-
terrible, awful things.
these woke folk who are awful. And it would be interesting if you showed up and we're like, oh yeah, we should definitely talk about it. Like, we need to make sure that it's safe for trans kids to use things like they them and not feel like they're going to, and like just totally come at it from that angle and watch them.
Even just like going in there, it's like, oh, okay, so what do you like? What is this critical race theory thing that you're talking? Like, what is this thing? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't follow.
What do you? I don't. Yeah.
don't
What
follow.
like?
Explain it
I've
to
heard
me.
people say what it is, but I don't like. But nobody's ever like told me what it is.
Right.
Like,
Do you know exactly? Do you know, like, can you show me in like the school programs where they're teaching that? I would like to go look at the
yeah,
books
like tell me.
where they're teaching that. And
Yeah,
see.
give me an example of like what critical race theory is. Like, oh well, it's the white people own slaves. Like, well, didn't we?
But yeah, we did.
Didn't
So it's just history
we did
then.
though.
No, but it's making us out to be the bad guys. I mean, but
I mean, we were though.
Like that part where we came across and like genocided all the indigenous people. You don't think that was bad?
Well, it's communist.
How our
though?
our American history is communist?
communist?
When was America communist? When did that happen?
The Constitution doesn't have communism in it.
I don't remember that part at all.
It's been a long time since I had American history. But
It has.
I don't remember communism.
Was there a part between the
that's them
90s?
Ruskies.
Was there a part between the 90s and now where America got communist for a minute and I didn't notice? It's possible.
I mean, you were pretty stoned in the 90s.
I mean, like I said, it is. I would not be shocked to find out that the late 90s were totally communist and I just was not paying attention. We lost Mikhail Gorbachev. That's a thing. That
Yeah, I
happened.
saw that. Christian made films. How do they not see how bad the acting is? They don't care.
Again, here's the thing.
It's not about making art. It's propaganda.
I think that the people that they are between themselves, they do see it. And they see how funny those things are, but they can't outwardly show that because the people that they're supposed to be, the visions in their heads that they have of themselves that they pretend to be around strangers, take offense to that. So they have to take offense.
So there's a side of that, but there really is another side of it that like they genuinely do think it's good
because it's about Jesus.
Because it's about Jesus.
Right. It's
and also, yeah, the church, the church postings that are, yeah, those are always fun. They happen.
Right. But it's like when you get into a new relationship and you're in that rose-colored glasses phase and you ignore red flags, that looking back on it when the relationship's falling apart, you realize like, oh, that was a red flag right off the bat and I just ignored it.
Yeah,
that. Like they're so enamored by the idea that there's a movie about Jesus that they're like, no, the acting's amazing. I don't know what you're talking about. What's that guy's name from that show in the 80s who makes horrible movies about Jesus now?
Kevin Sorbo?
No, although he's another one. He played the big
Melissa
brother.
Joan Hart?
Wait, Melissa Joan Hart?
Kirk Cameron.
Kirk Cameron, there we go. Melissa Joan Hart.
Melissa
bad Christian
she
movies
was in
now?
She was in God's Not Dead, one of them, like 2 or 3 maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't. In my head, that doesn't seem right because of the whole Sabrina thing.
Yeah, but that was just work. It's fine. I either need to take a break or call it a night because my wonderful drink that Mrs. Pastor gave me is very present.
I mean, that's fair. We can sure call it a night, man. I've had a very long day. My fingers are stinging. I'm putting Band-Aids back on them.
All right, sounds good. Put your gloop on your fingers.
I will do that. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Yes, it was a good time. I won't be back next week, but I should be back in 2 weeks. Maybe not though. It depends on how the puppy's having surgery on in like a week and a half. She's got like one of those fatty things right under her armpit.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
And it's getting in the way. So we're getting that removed.
I will be here Friday.
I'm planning on being here like in 2 Fridays, but it
Okay.
just depends on how she's like. If she's still having a hard time, then I won't be.
Okay. I will be able to talk about my first therapist appointments on the
Ooh,
next
yay.
stream. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh yeah, I'm actually supposed to have mine the Wednesday after she has the surgeries.
So nice.
So if I'm here on the 16th, then we'll both talk about our therapy appointments.
Maybe our therapy will work and we won't want to talk to each other anymore. We'll be like, no, we're fixed. We don't need to figure I don't need
All
him in my
better.
life anymore. I'm all better now.
Peace out, Joe. No more streams.
Because this is pretty much my therapy right now. This is what I do to
Yeah,
try to
existential crises and all.
kosher all the bad shit in my brain. All right. I'll let you go pee.
All right.
Thanks for hanging
I
out.
go make tinkles.
Love
Yep.
you guys. And we'll talk
Love
to
all of you except Reaper.
And I love you extra special hard. I just want to smell you a little bit.
He smells like trash.
Oh, it smells so good.
Just all of the dump. The
All
dump is
of
just
the dump.
all of it.
Forever. Forever and ever. Okay, let me find the button. There we go.
It's
See you
like a
next.
pig farmer.
All the pig farmers. See you next time on the thing. Bye.